You're listening to Football Friday Night on demand exclusively on 600 ESPN El Paso. Stay up to date with high school football scores, updates, and news by downloading the free 600 ESPN El Paso mobile app.
Here are your hosts, Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
And welcome to Football Friday Night pregame edition. 6 o'clock, some kickoffs about to start out there, but little 30 minutes of action before we get to our game of the week. 6:30, Franklin and Odessa Permian, but a full slate of action tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the I'm Paul MacKinnon. Of course, we're going to try and take you 30 minutes all the way to the kickoff, early kickoff of Football Friday Night, 6:30. But before that, let's take a look at our rotation tonight. 6 games in town. We'll have reports from all of them in this 30 minutes. The game of the week, of course, tonight, the Odessa Permian Mojo, the Permian Panthers coming to town. They're going to Franklin Cougar Stadium to face the Cougars, of course. Our Alex Nicolas is going to be out there for that one. Permian had a chance at their fourth straight, at least a share of a fourth straight district title in 2-6A a week ago. But they got handled by Midland Legacy, I think 34-21 that final. So they wind up third place in that district. Coming to Franklin, the Cougars on an 8-game winning streak as they claimed their first district title since 2018 in District 1-6A. Big 35-13 win over Pebble Hills. Also, out at the Socorro Student Activities Complex, Steve Escajeda right around the corner, ready to give a report. But San Angelo Central just 4-6 coming into this one. And, wow, lucky to be there. A huge forfeit, the district opener against Wolford Friendship. A game they lost, but they got it back as a W, and that's the one that got them into the playoffs. So Eastlake really getting the 5th best team in 2-6A. We'll see if they're able to take advantage tonight. The Falcons 9-1 on the season. Their only loss to the Franklin Cougars, a team considered widely the best in the city of El Paso, and that loss came when they didn't have their quarterback, Sebastian Rondon. So, he's good for about 200 yards a night. Didn't throw for any that night against the Cougars. Let's see if we get a better version of the Falcons as they look to take down Central. Boy, I really like their chances in that one. Off to Conquest Stadium, where Amarillo is coming in to face the Del Valle Conquistadores. 8-2 Amarillo, and they got to have fire in their eyes. A couple of weeks ago, they're off last week thinking, we're second place in the district, going to have a chance to host, some El Paso team coming to us. But then the chaos broke out. Amarillo Tascosa, their quarterback, B.T. Daniel, broken leg in the first half versus Lubbock Coronado. And the offense was feckless after that. Coronado swarmed him, swamped him, and did the unthinkable. Beat the beast. Beat the unbeatable. Tascosa forced a 3-way tie in the district. And, good news for Amarillo. Now they're champs. The bad news, they became the 3rd seeds after the point differential and have to travel. And as I said, they're coming to Del Valle. Had a couple of weeks off to prep for this one. And as I say, probably a little bit angry. Del Valle, on the other hand, 14-10 losers a week ago to Chapin at Irvin Memorial Stadium. That for the district title in 1-5A, Division I. So Del Valle, they're going to have their hands full with an extremely good Amarillo team, maybe the second best team in that Super 2-5A district. On to the Chapin Huskies. Our Adrian brought us out at R.E. McKee Stadium. Let's see what Adrian has to say about playing at R.E. McKee. The Chapin Huskies 8-2, and they've really cranked up the passing game over the last month. Tim Pastron, of course, big. I think 8 catches, 96 yards a week ago. And Anthony Rivera, again, a sophomore who's really come to life over the last 4 or 5 games, even had a defensive game where he picked off 4 passes. So Chapin and Mason Standifer, of course, the quarterback, on fire. So they're playing their best football of the season. 4-6 Caprock comes in to meet them. That should be an interesting one, to say the least. Now to the locals. To Division II 5As, Horizon 5-5 on the season, but holy smokes, their offense has been cranking it up, 30-plus points a game, I think, after the season opener. I don't know if they've scored below 34 in a contest. They come to Burgess Mustang Stadium. Horizon gave Canutillo everything it wanted a week ago in, I think, like a 35-24 loss. No, actually more than that, in the 45-35 area. Couple of touchdowns. from the air game. They decided not to run it at Canutillo like most teams have tried and failed. So put the ball up through the air. But the one guy who was able to actually run the football, the quarterback, Jacob Quijas, became just the second player all season to run for more than 100 yards versus that Canutillo defense. Elijah Uribe from Eastlake was the only other one, 130 he went for. So a little achievement there and able to throw the football as well. They gave the Canutillo, as I said, put 30-plus points on that Canutillo defense. Not an easy chore. So Burgess, again, with their hands full. Burgess tri-champs of 2-5A. Yeah, 2-5A. They switch it every season. It's hard to keep track. Tavares Jones, their big player, off a 300-yard game a week ago against El Paso High. His best game, his only 300-yard game ever. So trying to keep that cranked up as they host Horizon. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff. Jefferson Canutillo, we pretty much covered. Jefferson is a senior-laden team, but they've lost to the good teams in their district. They lost to Burgess, they lost to Austin, they lost to Andrus, and now they're going to 9-1 Canutillo. And that's going to be a tough one for them. Our Jeremy Karanko is out there. Brandon Cohn, by the way, out at Mustang Stadium for Horizon Burgess. And then there are the out-of-town games. Eastwood Abilene, coming off their best victory of the season, really handed it to Americas. 72-8 a week ago. They go to Abilene, a team that they played close a year ago, 42-35 that final. So Eastwood's been on the field with those guys, and they've competed, and they got to be feeling pretty good up there. That one's kicking off right about now. Pebble Hill's Legacy, wow. Pebble Hill's 6-4. They're young, a lot of sophomores. The good news is they're going to get a lot better, but the problem, Legacy, is terrific right now. That's going to be a tough one. Grande Communication Stadium, that one going right about now. Dorado and Tascosa. Again, Tascosa with a second-string quarterback. Hopefully that'll be enough for El Dorado to get through that one. Mountain View at Fort Stockton. Lakeview and Clint. 3-7 Lakeview is. Clint 5-5, and Clint's won a couple of these in a row, a couple of by-district games, so they got to be feeling pretty good. Of course, that one at a neutral site, I believe they're in Iran, and that's going to cover the games for the night. And right before we get to the rotation, let's take a quick look at the Thursday night games. Andrews all over Fabens, 73-0 in 4A play, but the 4A story gets a little bit better. Riverside, 10-1 now on the season. They just won their first district title since 2005. 34-7 all over Big Spring. Rudy Valenzuela, a big pick six in that one. As they move on, they're waiting for the Hereford Lake Worth winner. Elsewhere, Bel Air probably didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. 2-8 on the season, but in a district with only 4 teams, the Super 1-5A, they get swamped by that same Lubbock Coronado, 67-7. Coronado moves to 7-4 on the season. Bel Air finishes 2-9. Elsewhere in town, Andrus all over Esleda, 42-6. They move to 9-2. Esleda finishes the season at 4-7. Jeremiah Cooper, a 97-yard pick six in that one. That guy, he's got 5 interceptions over the last 3 weeks. Ever since he went down against Burgess with that stinger, he's come back with a vengeance. As I said, 5 picks in 3 weeks, leads the city now with 8 interceptions. Of course, the Horizon kid, he'll have a shot to even him up. He's one back with 7. He'll do that at Burgess Mustang Stadium. And the other one, the Parkland Matadors, look terrific. 42-21 winners over Austin. Austin's been bullying folks, but not last night. Parkland has 7 possessions, 7 touchdowns. The Estupinian Ruan kid was terrific. I think he caught 9 balls, couple of touchdowns, a 17-yard seam route, and a beautiful back shoulder with 2 seconds left in the first half to give Parkland a 28-14 lead. Never look back. Dante Lewis, an 80-yard post pattern to wrap that one up. One of his 2 scores, 42-14 going to the fourth quarter. That one was done. By the way, Isaiah Beasley also with a couple of touchdown runs. And that will conclude the look at last night's games. Parkland's going to hook up with Lubbock Cooper. Remember what a terrific game that was. Decided in the final minute Cooper's way. But they will see each other one more time. And Andrus waiting on tonight's Creekview, Wichita Falls Rider 9-1. So that's going to be a toughie for Andrus. But that is what they're looking for. And after going through all that, now we can get back to our rotation. Our game of the week, Permian Franklin. is going to be a 6:30 kickoff. But let's go ahead and get out to one of the early quick kicks. San Angelo Central 4-6, traveling to the SAC, and 9-1 Eastlake. Here's our Steve Escajeda with that report.
Thanks a lot, Paul. We've got just under 7 minutes to go in the first quarter, and we're scoreless here between San Angelo Central and the Eastlake Falcons. Eastlake got the ball first. They went 3 and out and punted to San Angelo, which is driving right now. In fact, thanks to a pass interference call, they've got the ball second down, 5 yards to go at the Eastlake 36-yard line. In this ballgame, in fact, these two teams played last year in this ballgame, very ballgame in the by-district matchup. Central knocking Eastlake out of the playoffs a year ago. So again, the Falcons looking for a little payback this year. Again, Central this year led by quarterback Tyler Hill, 1,769 yards on the season, 9 touchdown passes. He's also the team's leading rusher, 777 yards, and he also has 9 touchdowns on the ground. And Sam Navarrete, last year he scored 2 touchdowns in that ball game on the ground against Eastlake. He's also scored 7 touchdowns this year, and early on he's got 3 carries for 15 yards in this one. And, in fact, as we speak, that's a first down for Central down at the Eastlake 30-yard line. And, in fact, there's a complete pass, and now they're down to the 24. So Central is driving on this first time they've got the football. For the Eastlake Falcons, again, they're led by that Swiss Army knife of high school football, Elijah Oribe, leading rusher for them, 1,513 yards, 20 rushing touchdowns on the season. Oh, by the way, he's played a little quarterback this year. He's thrown for 621 yards and 7 touchdown passes. Oh, he's also played a little receiver this year. 22 catches, 375 yards, and 6 more scores for Eastlake. So as we said before, right now, Central is actually doing pretty much what they want here on offense. There's another run inside the 20-yard line. That's going to set them up first and 10 at the Eastlake. We're going to call it the 17-yard line. So, again, Central having no trouble moving the ball down the field on their opening position. I thought we've learned also today that the winner of this ball game, if Eastlake were to win tonight, they would play the winner of the Brian Nelson High, Weatherford High, next Friday in Friendship at a time still to be determined. So we'll let you go here. We've got 6:15, about 6:14 to go here in the opening quarter. Central, in fact, there's a run up the middle. Oh, down, that's not it again, down to the 3-yard line. That's going to set up a first and goal for the San Angelo Central Bobcats at the Eastlake 3-yard line. And, Paul, again, they've had no problem moving the ball up and down the field on this opening position.
Yeah, Steve, let me grab it away from you. You can come back and let us know with a real time on how that concludes. I think we all have an idea how that one's going. Not a great start for Eastlake. But let's keep the show moving on. Let's get to District 1-5A, Super 5A, Del Valle hosting Amarillo out at Conquest Stadium. Let's get out to Jaime Chavez. Jaime.
We've got 6:24 left in the first quarter here at Conquest Stadium. No score in this district division. Check that. Division 1 5A matchup between Amarillo and Del Valle. No score. We got 6:05 left in the first quarter. And Del Valle has engineered a crisp drive. They started this one at their own 19. Amarillo, on their first possession, they were stopped with a 4th and 1 with the running back Pius Vokes trying to get the first down. He was stopped cold at a 4th and 1. And now Ramos has just completed a 13-yard pass to Brandon Tejas. And now they're sitting in great field position. They've got a first and goal at the 9-yard line. Del Valle, this drive started at their own 19-yard line. And Del Valle is moving the ball well. And thus far, Ramos is 5-5 on this possession, this drive, 5-5 for 40 yards. He's got the keeper to his. He keeps it. You get about 2 yards. They're going to move this one to the 7. They'll have a second and goal at the 7-yard line. Del Valle Conquistadores. Ramos doing a lot of work tonight. He's also got 3 carries and 20 yards rushing as he He's in the no huddle, and he's got 3 wide receivers to his left with a 2nd and goal at the 7, and the clock moving, 5:48 left in the first quarter here at Conquest Stadium. And he's going back to pass. Ramos looking for a receiver. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's going to get sacked. It's going to be a 4-yard loss back to the 11-yard line. So it'll be a third and goal at the 11-yard line.
Okay, Jaime, let me take it back from you there. If there's any kind of resolution, points-wise, go ahead and call it back in on the back half. But we're going to keep the rotation going. In fact, we're about to run to a break. But remember, right behind us, we got Adrian Broadus, we got Alex Nicolas, we got Brandon Kona, we got Jeremy Karanko, all with pregame reports, quick ones, as we hit the 6:15 break. Remember, you're listening to the playoff edition pregame high school football Friday night by district version right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
You're listening to Football Friday Night on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
And a big welcome back to football pregame edition. Paul MacKinnon, your host. Beau Bagley, right around the corner. Football Friday night special 6:30 kickoff for the bi-district action. 6 local games and a slew out of town. And we're going to cover all of the next round's games as well. Who the teams that win tonight or lose, who's up next. That's on the docket. But what we want to get rid of first is the rotation. Let's get out to Conquest Stadium. No. R.E. McKee Stadium, Austin, where not Austin playing tonight, though. That was last night. Didn't go well. Caprock and Chapin. Here's Adrian Broadus.
Thanks, Paul. 3:10 left here in the opening quarter. Chapin on top of Caprock, 7-0. And just as I say that right now, quarterback Leighton Brown of Caprock just rushed in for a 1-yard score. A little confusion here among the officials, but I'll tell you a little bit about Chapin's opening drive. Now, there was an intentional grounding when Chapin entered into Caprock territory. It had him at 3rd and 34. There was a personal foul penalty that extended this drive. Then Chapin faced a 4th down and 7, had a conversion to Anthony Rivera on the near side of the press box. They got all the way down to the 24-yard line. The drive was looking like it was about to stall. 4th and 10 situation, and Mason Standifer hit Anthony Rivera for a 24-yard touchdown strike to give him a touchdown here on the board. Looks like they will be taking off the points there for Amarillo Caprock. That will not be a touchdown by quarterback Leighton Brown, who rushed in for a 1-yard score. Looks like they will be negating that, taking it back for a holding penalty. Again, we've got 3:02 left here in the opening quarter. Chapin on top of Caprock, 7-0, with Caprock threatening here in the red zone.
Terrific news from R.E. McKee. Thanks a lot, Adrian. Also, early score, Midland Legacy out a couple of touchdowns on Pebble Hills, 15-0. That a first quarter score. Let's keep things moving along. From Adrian Broadus, let's get out to our game of the week. Permian and Franklin, a 6:30 kickoff. Here's Alex Nicolas.
Thank you, Paul. 8 minutes away from the opening kick in the 6A Division I bi-district championship game between the Franklin Cougars and the Permian Panthers. Of course, Franklin coming in 8-2 overall, 7-0, the District 1 6A champions. 8 games, 8 straight wins for the Franklin Cougars coming into this one. But let's look at the Permian Panthers first. Under Jeff Ellison, his 4th season, longtime assistant, took over the reins back in 2018 and has not looked back. For this Permian team, the big thing that stands out to me, the 21-1 playoff record versus El Paso teams. The last playoff loss from an El Paso team that was handed to Permian was 2012. You got to go back to an El Dorado, and I believe MJ McFarland was on that team. But nonetheless, 31 bi-district titles for the Permian Panthers. They're 31-4-2 overall in their bi-district history. This is a team that's averaging 382 total yards per game, 232 rushing, led by their quarterback Rodney Hall, who has 14 touchdown passes, 11 rushing touchdowns. On the defensive side, Jackson Dorothy, 107 tackles, 13 tackles for loss. 5.0 sacks, and of course, that mojo is always something that's tough to beat, and that's something that we'll definitely keep an eye on here this evening. For Franklin, 460 yards per game, led by Cameron Bird, who's second in District 1-6A in passing yards and passing touchdowns. He'll be relying upon one of the top receivers in town, Bo Sparks, 69 catches, 1,210 yards, 16 touchdowns, which is first in District 1-6A. He's second in the district in receptions. But for Franklin, trying to snap a 2-game losing streak to Permian. Permian has beat Franklin 2 straight years in this by-district round. So Coach Walker trying to get over the hump on this one. So about 5 minutes away from kickoff. A interesting game here in the Region 1 bracket in Division 1 between Franklin and Permian.
And Alex, thanks so much for that. That should be a fun one tonight from Franklin Cougar Stadium. Let's get out to Mustang Stadium, Horizon and Burgess. Here's Brendan Cohn.
We have a great one between the Burgess Mustangs, 7-3 on the year, 5-1 in 2-5A, and the Horizon Scorpions also 5-5. They're 3-1 in 1-5A Division 2. Talking to the coaches before this game, Horizon head coach Paulo Mendez, he said, "Look, we feel like we've earned this. We're supposed to be here. We truly belong. We finished better now, of course, how did we start? Because when we started, we were a little rusty in the beginning, but we were battle-tested by our losses. We need to take care of the football and be efficient on third down, and most importantly, stop number 2, referring to Davaris Jones." Burgess coach Rutledge, he said, they got a real powerful offense. We need to keep them off the field. He said, yes, we feel confident. This is our 4th straight by-district round. But, the more film I watch on these guys, the more concerned I am. And, of course, Davaris Jones, star running back, Missouri commit, he said in terms of his memories here, he said the bond and family here at Burgess has been great. Calling it home has been great. If this is indeed, which it will more than likely be his last playoff game here in El Paso. Now, talking about Burgess, this is a team that Red Hot won 3 straight, 6 of 7. This is a team that is led by their running back, Tavares Jones, 129 carries, 1,557 yards, a total of 23 TDs, 18 receiving, as well as 5 touchdowns through the air. He also has over 500 yards through the air. Also, their quarterback, Andrew Rutledge, this is a kid who's thrown for over 1,431 yards. He has 22 touchdowns for a QB rate of 104%. And then he's also got 33 carries for 87 yards. They're loaded with receivers. Sean Street, he has over 500 yards through the air. Adam Sierra, 200 yards through the air. Ray Campos, also close to 340 yards through the air. So this is a team that's just exceptionally good at defending and also even more so well-balanced offensively and defensively. Horizon on the other side led by the best QB running back tandem in the city, Jacob Kihas. This kid, unbelievable. What a year, 1,564 yards. He's also... What's that?
Wrap it up, Brando.
Okay, well, we got a big one tonight, Paul. Let's look forward to it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Thanks for that. A couple other scores. Jaime Chavez tells us, actually Adrian Broadus tells us that Anthony Rivera, after his touchdown reception and end zone interception to stop that Caprock drive, chaping up 7-0 first quarter from Jaime Chavez. Jesse Ramos, quarterback, from a yard out, 7-0. Del Valle, wow, up on top of Amarillo. And our last game of the night, a quick report from Jeremy Caranco Jefferson at Canutillo. Jeremy, go.
Yeah, Jefferson and Canutillo in a bi-district playoff action here tonight. Canutillo and Jefferson beating for the first time in playoffs. Overall series 3-1. Canutillo does lead it. Eagles winning the last matchup 48-0 in 2015, and Silver Foxes last one in 2005, 15-13. Look, the story of tonight, Jefferson, they're going to have to keep up with Canutillo. They lost to all their tri-champs. They finished 4th. They're here. They got a chance to move on and do what they can do. However, they got to stay healthy. Alcala has been roughed up last 2 games, but the story is they've been able to compete. They lost by 14 against Andrews, but they were in the game late, trailed Austin 28-0. They come back in within 9. They were unable to finish that one. Arturo Rubio leading the way, 1,227 yards, 13 touchdowns. Alcala, 1,785 and 22 touchdowns. 2 playoff appearances in 1997. Jefferson is glad to be here. For Canutillo, 9-1, 4-0, the champions of District 2-5A, getting a big win last week to clinch the district over Horizon 43-34. Scott Brooks taking his Eagles to the playoffs for the 4th straight year, now 14 out of 16 season, and don't forget the 2014 run where they went to the semifinals and lost to eventual state champion Ennis. L.J. Martin will lead this team, a 2,000-yard superstar running back tonight. Canutillo looking to move on against Jefferson here tonight.
Jeremy, thanks so much. Another good one out there, and a good start to all the locals. It should be a fun night of football, and that's going to wrap it up for the high school football pregame show. Beau Bagley right around the corner, along with your other host. That would be me, Paul MacKinnon, here on Football Friday Night, 600 ESPN El Paso.
You're listening to Football Friday Night on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
It's Football Friday Night, playoff edition right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. From now until the clock strikes 0, we have you covered with all the action. From West Texas to the land of enchantment, a great playoff night on Football Friday Night. I'm your host, Beau Bagley, alongside the hardest worker in the business, Paul MacKinnon, and producer Angel Munoz. Our 600 ESPN El Paso high school football reporters are working that beat to bring you the best coverage possible. Our reporters tonight are Steve Escajeda, Brandon Cohn, Adrian Broadus, Alex Nicholas, the coach, Jaime Chavez, and Jeremy Caranco. And a special thanks to Isaiah Ramirez, J.D. Sursley, Joey Panisi, Ray Adalto, and longtime host Mark Miller for all their help this season. And let's get right to it. We got games going on right now. We have an update from the coach, Jaime Chavez. Coach, take it away.
7 and 10:44 left in the half. It is Del Valle 7 and Amarillo 0. Jesse Ramos, the Del Valle quarterback, he has a 1-yard touchdown run. That caps a 10-play, 81-yard drive. And Ramos, these are his numbers. He's got 5 carries, 28 yards rushing, and that 1 touchdown. He's 5 of 6 and 40 yards passing. And Del Valle just blew a scoring opportunity. Sebastian Lopez, he just recovered a fumble for Del Valle, the linebacker, at the Amarillo 35, but Del Valle was unable to convert. They were stopped with a 4th and 3 at the Amarillo 23-yard line. So the winner tonight in this 5A by-district matchup, the winner will play Colleyville Heritage or Abilene Cooper in the area playoff next week. So we've got 10:38 left in the half at Del Valle's Conquest Stadium. It's Del Valle 7 and Amarillo 0.
And Beau, this one just in from Abilene, where the Eastwood Troopers have gone bussin'. 7-6. Eastwood jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Abilene is just closed within 7-6. I'm assuming that's after the failed extra point attempt. 7-6. Eastwood leads Abilene first quarter.
And that game at Abilene, thank you, Paul. What a big start for the Divine Conquistadors. Everybody would say this is an uphill battle against the Amarillo Sandys coming in against Amarillo, always tough. This year they're 8-2 coming in. Del Valle 7-3, coming off a really, really close, tough loss to Chapin for the district title. How do you see this one? A nice start for the Divine Conquistadors.
Yeah, surprising start. I'm scared of Amarillo. As I said, they probably come in angry. They didn't think they were going to have to travel, and they wound up doing so. Maybe the one thing, a lot of times when you get a lot of time off, Amarillo's been off for a couple of weeks, you get a little bit rusty, and sometimes it takes a quarter or two to shake that rust off. Hey, they're up 7-0. Let's see if we can put another couple of scores on these guys before they get in their rhythm.
Absolutely. We'll head back out to Coach Jaime Chavez in just a little bit. That kickoff was at 6 p.m. We also had 6 p.m. kickoffs at the SAC with East Lake hosting San Angelo Central. Also, the Chapin Huskies hosting the Amarillo Caprock at Austin High School. Hey, let's head out to Franklin Cougar Stadium and our Cisco Movers game of the week. The Franklin Cougars hosting the Permian Panthers in just a little bit. Let's head back out to Steve at the SAC for East Lake and San Angelo Central for this update. Steve, take it away.
We've got 6:32 here to go in the second quarter, and it is East Lake on top of San Angelo Central 7-0. When we last left you, San Angelo, in fact, was inside the 5-yard line, threatening to score on their opening possession. They had the ball up to Sam Navarrete, who was hit hard and fumbled the football. It was recovered on the East Lake 13-yard line by defensive end Caleb Emery, all 6'3", 230 pounds of him, giving the East Lake Falcons the ball right there. On that position, they went down the field, mainly on the arm of their quarterback, Sebastian Rendon. That series ended on an 8-yard touchdown pass from Rendon to Adrian Lopez to put East Lake again up 7-0. So far, the quarterback, Rendon, 7 out of 8 through the air, 75 yards, and that 1 touchdown pass. We've got just under 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Eastlake on top of San Angelo Central, 7-0.
Talked about before, the only game Eastlake lost this year was to Franklin, and when they lost that game, they didn't have their quarterback, Sebastian Rendon. Big addition, he throws for about 200 yards a game, and they have so many receivers. Oh, by the way, speaking of team with so many receivers, the Eastwood Troopers, typical Eastwood game. Troopers back on the board. 13-6 now, 8 minutes left in the first half. That was a 6 o'clock kickoff from Abilene. Again, this would be a huge upset. Abilene just one loss in that Super 2-6A district, finished second place to Mighty Legacy. So Eastwood being up 13-6. It's a big deal, but remember, coming off their biggest game of the season, they smashed America's a week ago, and I think some of that momentum is still going along.
Very much so. So look at the Eastwood Troopers right up there, 13-6 in the second quarter. Eastwood can put up some points too. Abilene has to be wary of the Eastwood Troopers. Put up 70 a couple times this season, so Eastwood Troopers can really put up some points.
Yeah, don't forget 88 versus Socorro, unfortunately.
Yes, that one slipped my mind. 88 points. So once again, Eastlake up on San Angelo Central, 7-0. The Chapin Huskies, after a big interception reported by Adrian Broadus, they punched it in. They're now up 7-0, and they're looking to score here at the end of the first quarter. So the Chapin Huskies leading Amarillo Caprock 7-0, and Del Valle Conquistadors leading the Amarillo Sandies 7-0, that in the second quarter. Remember, we got some kickoffs right now. Franklin and Permian just kicked off. We'll get an update. No score at the moment. We'll get an update from Alex Nicholas in just a little bit. Then 7 o'clock kickoffs in town in El Paso. The Burgess Mustangs hosting the Horizon Scorpions, and then the Canutillo Eagles hosting the Jefferson Silver Foxes. That should be two fun games out there. Also all around up in Las Cruces at the Field of Dreams, the Centennial Hawks, the 4th seed in the 6A quarterfinals, hosting 5th seed Las Cruces. The Las Cruces Bulldogs and Centennial Hawks. That should be a fun one up at the Field of Dreams. Let's head out to Austin's R.E. McKee Stadium and join Adrian Broadus for an update on Amarillo Caprock and the Chapin Huskies.
11:15 left here in the opening half. The Chapin Huskies on top of Amarillo Caprock, 14-0. Mason Standiford just punched it in for a 1-yard touchdown run. He is 8 of 15 today, 109 passing yards, has a touchdown pass as well. Remember, Amarillo Caprock drove it all the way into Chapin territory. They drove it inside the red zone, and there was actually an interception that Anthony Rivera caught for the Chapin Huskies. Then the Huskies turned around and they put together an 80-yard touchdown drive that was just capped off by that 1-yard rushing touchdown by Mason Standiford. Anthony Rivera, star of the show so far tonight, 4 catches, 59 receiving yards, an interception, and a touchdown for the Huskies. So again, we've got 11:15 left here in the opening half. The Chapin Huskies on top of Amarillo Caprock, 14-0.
And Beau Rivera's been the star for the Chapin Huskies, seems like almost every week over the last month. Remember, a few weeks back, he had that 4-interception game on the defensive side. But just go as far back as last week, the 14-10 win over Del Valle. Who were the 2 touchdowns? Anthony Rivera, the sophomore, a couple of touchdown receptions. Those were the only points Chapin would score, and those points would be enough, as is Anthony Rivera. He's enough.
And it seems like that momentum that they've had winning that district title and a great end of the district season for the Chapin Huskies carrying over tonight at Austin's R.E. McKee Stadium against Amarillo Caprock. And I'm just going to lay it out there. Chapin 8-2, maybe head coach Ryan Warner in his second season, coach of the year in the city of El Paso.
Yeah, if you're asking me, that's a done and done already. So we're in agreement.
Hey, we got an update from Del Valle's Conquest Stadium. Let's head out to Del Valle and Amarillo and Coach Jaime Chavez with an update. Coach.
At 9:15 left in the half, we've got a tie ball game now. It is Amarillo 7 and Del Valle 7. Amarillo wide receiver Tyrese Molden, a 63-yard touchdown run on an end around, and the extra point is good. And Del Valle's score, quarterback Jesse Ramos, a 1-yard touchdown run that capped a 10-play, 81-yard drive. Ramos is 6 of 8, 43 yards passing, and he's got 5 carries and 28 yards rushing for Del Valle tonight. And tonight, Amarillo comes in with some revenge in mind. They lost a by-district playoff game here 3 years ago against Del Valle. They fell to Del Valle in 2018. That final was 21-10. So we've got 8:44 left in the half at Conquest Stadium. Tie ball game. Del Valle 7, Amarillo 7.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Tie ball game there, as we were talking about a little earlier about the Del Valle Conquistadors. Keep that momentum up, but here comes Amarillo. That train from the Panhandle just keeps rolling wherever they go, and here comes Amarillo Sandys. So it should be a fun game at Conquest Stadium. Thank you, Coach. Let's head out to our Cisco Movers Game of the Week and join Alex Nicholas with Franklin hosting the Permian Panthers. Let's head out to Franklin Cougar Stadium. Alex, take it away.
9 minutes, 15 seconds left in our opening quarter, and Mojo on the board first. They lead Franklin 7-0. It would be a 47-yard touchdown pass from their quarterback, Rodney Hall, to Jaquan Richardson. That'd be the 16th touchdown pass of the season for Rodney Hall. First play for Franklin's drive, though, they would connect. That would be a 37-yard completion from Cameron Bird to Miles McWhorter, and Franklin is answered right back as they are driving in the red zone. 8:49 and running in the opening quarter. Permian 7, Franklin nothing.
Alex, thank you so much. Paul, let's bring you in here. How do you see this one shaping up in our Cisco Movers Game of the Week? Permian Mojo and the Franklin Cougars. They've played several times over the last couple years, and it seems like it's always gone back and forth, always a close game, but Franklin really playing well ever since Darren Walker got back, really played well before Darren Walker was out early in the season. So how do you see this one shaping up?
Well, I'm not sure I have a good guess on that one, but as you said, Franklin's won 8 in a row. They haven't lost since Walker's been back on the sidelines. But, they've been playing locals. It's the first time they're getting somebody from Central Texas since their first couple of weeks, I think, might be a little deceiving. Losing to Rio Rancho, Cleveland. Usually a good Franklin team is better than a great New Mexico team. And when they drop that game, you say, okay, maybe Franklin's not what they are this year. But as I said, 8 in a row. And going to Permian. Permian is not what they've been in the past. Had a chance, again, for the 4th straight season to be district champs. Couldn't take advantage of it. Dropped a game to Midland Legacy a week ago. So Permian, maybe not quite what they've been in the past. And Franklin, it's hard to tell what they are. Watching them, the air game's pretty good. There's a lot of action, a lot of options. Bo Sparks was huge last week, by the way. 8 catches, I think 204 yards, 3 touchdowns in that 35-13 win over Pebble Hills. And, Cameron Bird, there's games where he hardly throws an incomplete pass. So, I mean, they can look sharp, but I saw them when they were against Americas, and they looked miserable in that first half. Somehow found a way to come back and get that one. I believe it was a blocked field goal return for a score. So, that's good news also. The Cougars find a way to win. But when I saw them, they didn't look good. So it's hard for me to say, yeah, I love the chance they have against Permian tonight. But, they're driving the ball right now.
Absolutely. So the Permian Panthers strike first over the Franklin Cougars. 7-0 Mojo leads Franklin. That's a 6:30 kickoff at Franklin High School. So Permian strikes first. Let's see if the Franklin Cougars can counter. Hey, we have some scores from the Panhandle and also the Permian Basin. Midland Legacy leads Pebble Hills 15-0. That early in the second quarter. Late in the first quarter, Amarillo Tascosa leading the El Dorado Aztecs 14-0. So both teams finding uphill battles in the Panhandle and the Permian Basin. And last check, Eastwood led Abilene in the second quarter 13-6. So Eastwood looking for a bit of a shocking upset there. That's in the second quarter. Once again, Troopers leading Abilene 13-6. We're going to take a short break right now. Come back as we inching closer to the 7 o'clock hour. In our 7 o'clock kickoffs, Burgess hosting Horizon, kickoff at 7 o'clock, while Canutillo hosts Jefferson, and much more from our 6 o'clock kickoffs. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
You're listening to Football Friday Night on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
Welcome back to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's take you out to our Cisco Movers Game of the Week and join Alex Nicholas with an update on Permian and Franklin. Alex.
6:33 left in our opening quarter, and we are tied. Franklin and Permian knotted up at 7. When you guys last left me, Franklin was driving in Permian's red zone on a 4th down and 10 from the 13-yard line. It would be Cameron Bird, a back shoulder fade to Miles McWhorter, who made a beautiful in-air body adjustment for the catch. That was at the 7:27 mark, but Rodney Hall just rolled off a 55-yard run, handoff up the middle, and they're going to be stopped inside the 5-yard line. So Permian knocking on the door with 6:15 left in the opening quarter. Permian and Franklin tied at 7.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. Paul, just as we were talking about, this one's going to be a barn burner back and forth, and it is the first 2 possessions of the game. Permian strikes first. Here comes Franklin.
And I always think as long as the locals are able to stay in the contest, the better their chances get sticking around. Because just in the past, so many times, especially Midland Lean, now Midland Legacy, will just come in. And, I think of Sidarius Barfield's senior year when he was at El Dorado, and, they're district champs, or at least tied for it, and all of a sudden 63-0, he's gone by the first possession. That's what these teams have done to El Paso teams traditionally in the past. Not so much over the last 10, 15 years. Franklin can play with Odessa Permian. I think they've shown that. And as I said, the longer they stick around, I think the more confident they get.
Speaking of El Dorado, we got an update from the El Dorado Aztecs taking on Amarillo Tascosa. Second quarter, El Dorado's Quincy Estrada scores on a 5-yard touchdown run that cuts the Tascosa lead to 14. So now late in the second quarter, Tascosa leads El Dorado 21-7. Let's head back out to Conquest Stadium and join the coach, Jaime Chavez, for an update on Del Valle and Amarillo. Coach, take it away.
6:50 left in the half. It is now Amarillo 10 and Del Valle 7. Amarillo place kicker Luke Lemonek. He hit a 25-yard field goal, and that was a result of an 8-play, 63-yard drive for the Amarillo Sandys. The other score for Amarillo, Tyrese Molden, a 63-yard touchdown run. Del Valle's only score, quarterback Jesse Ramos, a 1-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Ramos, 6 of 11, 60 yards passing. He got 5 carries and 28 yards rushing. 6:45 left in the half at Del Valle's Conquest Stadium. It's Amarillo 10 and Del Valle 7.
Coach, thank you very much. So 10-7, Amarillo taking the 3-point lead over the Del Valle Conquistadors. Del Valle struck first 7-0, but here comes the Sandys. Paul, you got an update?
Yeah, a little more news from Abilene. Andrew Martinez, the quarterback. He's their short yardage guy, and he is, again, a 1-yard touchdown run. 1 minute left in the half at Abilene. Your Eastwood Troopers lead this one 20-6. You don't want to get too excited. Long way to go. But,
very much
boy, what a surprise. The Troopers, maybe they are all that.
Wow. Eastwood over Abilene, that would be a shocker, but an exciting start to the game nonetheless. Second quarter, Eastwood up on Abilene 20-6. Hey, let's head out to the Iceman. Let's go out to Burgess Mustang Stadium and join the Iceman, Brandon Cohn. Brandon, take it away. You know what? I bet that was he accidentally sat on his phone, I bet, and he called us in. Brandon, are you there?
Brando Butdaldus, huh? Yeah,
his game doesn't start for about 10 more minutes.
Correct. Absolutely right.
Okay, thanks, Brandon. Great to hear from you. Hope to hear from you more a little bit later. Hope you have a little bit more to say. Right. But some exciting games. Once again, our Cisco Movers game of the week. Permian and Franklin tied at 7. Eastlake leading San Angelo Central 7-0. Chapin up on top on Amarillo Caprock 14-0. And the Amarillo Sandys leading the Del Valle Conquistadors 10-7. We're inching closer here to Horizon and Burgess, and then Jefferson and Canutillo. These games we also talked about a little bit earlier, Thursday night games. Andrus all over Isleta, and Andrus looked good doing it too. They'll play the winner of Wichita Falls Ryder or Creekview. And then the Parkland Matadors, maybe the upset so far in the playoffs. Parkland shocking Austin 42-21. That is Parkland's 6th straight by-district championship. So I don't know, Paul, should we be impressed with that win, or ho-hum, this is what the Parkland Matadors do?
No, yeah, I was at that game. They looked terrific. They have skill guys all over the place, and they all look good last night. Even a guy who didn't really show up, scoring-wise, the Crest Daniels kid, terrific-looking wide receiver, a couple of nice kickoff returns, made a beautiful catch, a 30-yard post pattern, got him down to the 5, set up a short Beasley run. Kid was a little dinged after that one, so he was in and out of the lineup, but he looked good. Beasley had a couple of touchdown runs, and as I said earlier, Fernie Estupinian Ruan was terrific. I bet he caught 9 balls, a couple of back shoulders, one that wasn't for a touchdown, about 30 yards, where he just everything about him was off the field to play except for his tippy toes as he went full extension and made a terrific hands catch. And, oh, by the way, a couple of touchdowns for that kid as well.
Absolutely. So big wins for Parkland and Andrews last night. Also, the Riverside Rangers. Riverside will take on either Lake Worth or Hereford. We'll keep you updated on those games tonight and who they will face in the playoffs. Let's head out to Steve Escajeda with an update from the SAC from San Angelo Central and Eastlake. Steve, take it away.
Before halftime, we've got 21 seconds here before halftime, and we're all tied up between the San Angelo Central Bobcats and the Eastside Falcons at 7-7. San Angelo just scoring on a 64-yard touchdown pass. Tyler Hill hitting Jacob English, their leading receiver. Again, tying things up at 7-7. Right now, Eastlake has the ball at their own 30-yard line, and I'm assuming they're going to run off the clock with just 21 ticks to go. Just a startling play. After their first possession, Central hadn't gotten much done offensively. When they let out the ball again, they hit English, who was wide open down the field. It was a missed coverage there, and again scoring from 64 yards out. So the clock is ticking here, 16 seconds to go before the half. We've got a tie score, Central 7, Eastlake 7.
All right, Steve, thank you so much for that one. As we're going to take a short break and get closer to the 7 o'clock hour and those 7 o'clock kicks, we got an update from Adrian Broadus. Chapin and Amarillo Caprock. Caprock cutting into that Chapin Husky lead with a touchdown, so cutting that lead to 7. So with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter, Chapin now leads Caprock 14-7. We're going to take a break here as we get closer to the 7 o'clock hour. You're listening to Football Friday Night. We got football playoffs all over the borderland right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
On 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
Welcome back to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso, the playoff edition. We do have some halftime scores out in 5A. El Dorado and Tascosa. Tascosa leads the Aztecs 21-7 at the half. Also at halftime, Eastwood leading Abilene 20-6. And down in 4A, Clint leading San Angelo Lakeview 7-0. That game at halftime.
And some early out-of-town scores, Bo. Names that we don't hear often because we don't care what these teams do, but now we do because our teams are going to see them in the next round if they win in advance. First off, in Division II 6A, Byron Nelson, that's a familiar name. He's a golfer. Well, he's also a school. 14-7 up on Weatherford, of course, just outside of Fort Worth, in a battle of 7-3 teams. The winner of this game gets the winner of the Eastlake San Angelo Central game. Another one last night, Boswell beat VR Eaton. This was a Thursday nighter, 40-37. They moved to 6-4 on the season, and they will get, well, I guess we could say they might get Eastwood. Eastwood up 20-6 at halftime at Abilene. A little bit of a shocker there. But talk to Julio Lopez. He says if they wind up with Boswell, that could be in the Lubbock area next weekend, of course. A couple of other games. Lake Worth up on Hereford 17-0. 8-2 Lake Worth, Hereford 6-4. The winner of that game will get Riverside. Riverside 34-7 winners last night over Big Spring. And I think that's going to be it for an abbreviated out-of-town scoreboard, Bob.
An abbreviated out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Longhorn Distributing. We also have an out-of-town scoreboard. Midland Legacy leading El Paso Pebble Hills. The Pebble Hills Spartans finally get on the board. Gael Ochoa hitting Jaylee Bost for a 12-yard touchdown. So it's now 23-8 Legacy over Pebble Hills just before halftime. Let's head out to our Cisco Movers game of the week. The Franklin Cougars and the Permian Panthers. At last check, this game was tied at 7. Let's head out to Alex Nicholas for an update. Alex. Alex Nicholas, are you there from Franklin Cougar Stadium?
Well, let's 2:06 left here in the opening quarter, and it's Permian 21, Franklin 7. A pair of touchdowns for Permian coming on the legs of Jaquan Richardson. The first one was a 5-yard touchdown run at the 5:40 mark of the first quarter, and then Franklin would go 3 and out, and Permian would just go would take 3 plays and go 64 yards. It would be a long run by Brian Mahaffey. That would be a 42-yard run. Very next play, Jaquan Richardson again, 11-yard touchdown run. That's his 3rd touchdown of the first half. And there's 2:06 left here in the opening quarter. Permian leading Franklin 21-7.
Alex, thank you so much. Whoa, here comes Mojo. 21-7, 14 unanswered points by the Mojo. Franklin Cougars back on their heels. Yikes. Hey, let's head out to Adrian Broadus. He has an update from Austin's RME Stadium. The Chapin Huskies hosting Amarillo Caprock. Adrian, take it away. Adrian, are you there?
There's the crowd
34 seconds left here in the opening half. The Chapin Huskies on top of Amarillo Caprock, 14-7. It was a touchdown by the Longhorn running back Damian Carrasco. He had a 2-yard rushing touchdown. He's carried the ball 20 times tonight for 103 yards. Has a rushing touchdown early on into this one. Now, Amarillo Caprock just had a 50-yard pass from their quarterback Leighton Brown out to their wide receiver Aiden Ramirez, but it was negated because Leighton Brown was past the line of scrimmage. So now they booted the ball back to the Huskies. They will have the ball with 28 seconds left here in the opening half to try to score a touchdown at the Longhorn 35-yard line. So I'll send it back to you guys with 28 seconds left here in the opening half. Chapin on top of Amarillo Caprock, 14-7.
All right, Adrian, thank you so much. What a game there between Chapin and Amarillo Caprock, 14-7. Now we're going to go out to another game. As I'm trying to get producer Angel Munoz. Is it Coach next?
That's correct. It is Coach next.
Let's go out to Coach Jaime Chavez out at Del Valle's Conquest Stadium. Del Valle hosting Amarillo. At last check, Amarillo was leading the Conquistadors 10-7. Coach, take it away.
1:41 left in the half at Conquest Stadium. It is now Amarillo 17 and Del Valle 7. Backup quarterback for Amarillo, Mason Graham, a 7-yard touchdown run. The extra point is good. And also Amarillo wide receiver Tyrese Molden had a 63-yard touchdown run on an end around, and Luke Laminack added a 25-yard field goal. The only score for Del Valle, Jesse Ramos, a 1-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. We've got a timeout on the field now, and Del Valle is moving the ball. Now they're moving well into Amarillo territory. They've got a 1st and 10 at the Amarillo 34-yard line. So 1:24 left in the half at Del Valle's Conquest Stadium. It's Amarillo 17, Del Valle 7.
The first 7 on the board, but, that's usually a good sign. 17 straight now. This one's going the wrong direction. Del Valle's got to put the next points on the board, or they can start looking at next season.
All right, let's head out to the Sackett and halftime update from the East Lake Falcons. And San Angelo Central joins Steve Escajeda for this halftime update. Steve.
We are at the half here at the Sack, and it is San Angelo Central and the East Lake Falcons all tied up 7-7. Good ball game. Kind of a defensive struggle here. East Lake got things going there in the last play of the first quarter. Quarterback Sebastian Rendon hitting Adrian Lopez with an 8-yard touchdown pass, again putting East Lake up 7-0. Central scored with just 1:38 to go before halftime. Their quarterback, Tyler Hill, hitting Jacob English on a 64-yard touchdown bomb. Got some individual stats here in the first half for Central. They're led on the ground by Sam Navarrete, 11 carries, 46 yards in that first half. Quarterback Tyler Hill, 5 out of 7 through the air, 87 yards and a touchdown. And their top receiver, Jacob English, 3 catches, 81 yards and a score. For East Lake, they're led on the ground by Elijah Uribe, 11 carries, 38 yards. He does come into the ball game averaging over 151 per game. So, again, they've held him pretty much in check in the first half. Quarterback Sebastian Rendon, 11 out of 13 through the air, 182 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 INT. Uribe, although he's having a good night catching the football, 6 catches on the night, 126 yards. And Adrian Lopez, 4 catches, 44 yards, and the only touchdown of the night for East Lake. Team-wise, Central, 154 total yards, 67 on the ground, 87 through the air. East Lake, 229, 47 on the ground, and 182 passing yards. So, again, good game here at the Sack. Central coming into this ball game with a 4-6 record. East Lake at 9-1, but I'll tell you, Central They come into this one on a 3-game losing streak, losing to these 3 teams: Permian, Midland Legacy, and Abilene High. Outscored 139-49 in those 3 ball games. So they're a little upset, a little angry, and they're taking it out on Eastlake. They're hanging in there tonight so far at the SAC. We've got about 10 minutes to go before the start of the second half. It is Central and Eastlake deadlock 7-7.
And Beau from Grande Communication Stadium, Pebble Hills drives all the way down to the 8-yard line, 4 seconds on the clock. They eschew the field goal, take a shot at the end zone, come up empty. That one, Doe is right. Doe! And wind up going to half. I believe that's a 23-8 halftime score. The Beasts, Midland Legacy, up on top of Pebble Hills.
All right, tough halftime score for the Pebble Hills Spartans there. Also at half, El Dorado trails Tascosa 21-7. Eastwood leading Abilene 20-6 at halftime. Also at half, Clint leading San Angelo Lakeview 7-0. Looks like we got some more updates. Who do we got on the phone lines? Let's head out to our Cisco Movers Game of the Week and join Alex Nicholas for an update on Permian and Franklin. Alex.
21 seconds left in the first quarter. Permian 28, Franklin 7. And fellas, I am getting the full Jaquan Richardson experience this evening. Richardson, his 4th touchdown of the first quarter. This one, a 58-yard touchdown pass from Rodney Hall, was a jump ball around the 30-yard line. He took it away from Bo Sparks, ran the last 30 yards, and it has been all mojo in this one. Permian, 14 plays, 232 total yards. If you're a mathematician at home, that's 16.5 yards per play through just 1 quarter of play, as the first quarter is officially over here on the west side. Permian leading Franklin 28-7 at the end of the first quarter.
Wow, that's a shocker. We knew this game would be tough. Tied at 7, but now 21 unanswered points by the Permian Panthers, and Mojo looking like they're playing the Mojo of old from the 1980s. They're looking good against the Franklin Cougars right now. Let's head out to R.E. McKee Stadium. Join Adrian Broadus for an update on Chapin and Amarillo Caprock. Adrian.
Halftime out here at R.E. McKee Stadium. It's the Chapin Huskies on top of Amarillo Caprock, 21-7. On the last play of the half, Mason Standifer, quarterback for the Chapin Huskies, hit his brother Hunter Standifer for a 24-yard touchdown strike. Mason Standifer goes into the half 10 of 20, 144 passing yards, has a pair of touchdowns through the air and 1 on the ground. And it's been all Huskies in the first half. Now, Amarillo Caprock has done a really nice job running the ball with their running back, Damon Carrasco. 20 carries, 103 rushing yards, and a touchdown to 2 yards out. So send it back to you guys. It's halftime out here. Chapin on top of Amarillo Caprock, 21-7.
And Beau, a Hunter Standifer sighting. I tell you what, 2 nice receivers already in the Pastron kid and Anthony Rivera. If Hunter Standifer becomes a viable third option among that group, there's no telling where this passing game can go. Already pretty darn good. We remember the night they stuck, 56 on Horizon?
Oh, wow. Yes, absolutely. So the Standifer is getting it done for the Chapin Huskies right now. 21-7. Chapin leading Amarillo Caprock at halftime. Thank you very much, Adrian, for that update. Hey, let's head out to the coach, Jaime Chavez, at Del Valle's Conquest Stadium. Del Valle hanging in there. Can they hang in with 1.5 minutes to go in the first half? Del Valle trailing by 10, 17-7 against Amarillo. Let's head out to the coach, Jaime Chavez, for an update. Okay, well, we're working on getting Coach. We'll get him back in just a little bit. Also, games of note kicking off just a few minutes ago. Burgess hosting Horizon. Also, Canutillo hosting Jefferson.
And the ice has been broken out of Canutillo. Our Jeremy Karanko is close to on the line, and he'll fill us in. A real-time update, obviously in the works.
All right, let's head back out to Coach Jaime Chavez with an update on Del Valle and Amarillo as we're inching closer to halftime. Coach, take it away.
17, 50 seconds left in the half at the Conquest Stadium. On the Del Valle campus, it is Amarillo 17 and Del Valle 7. And on a 4th and long, Jesse Ramos is going back to pass. That was a 4th and 18 at the Amarillo 38. So Now Amarillo will take over on downs with 44 seconds left. And the Amarillo scoring, Mason Graham, the backup quarterback, a 7-yard touchdown run. And also Tyrese Molden for the Amarillo Sandys, a 63-yard touchdown run. And Luke Laminack added a 25-yard field goal for Amarillo. The only score for Del Valle, quarterback Jason Ramos, a 1-yard touchdown run. 44 seconds left in the half at the Conquest Stadium. And it's Amarillo 17 and Del Valle 7.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. So a turnover on downs for the Del Valle Conquistadors. Only 40 seconds to go. Hopefully that defense can hold on and maintain that 10-point deficit going into halftime. We got an update from Lowenberg Stadium, and Canutillo Eagles hosting the Jefferson Silver Foxes. Let's join Jeremy Caranco for this update from Julius and Irene Lowenberg Stadium. Jeremy.
6:20 and counting. It's the first quarter, and it's Canutillo on top of Jefferson, 7-0. The score was an L.J. Martin 56-yard touchdown run. We said it all season long on our show. It's been his night already. 24th of the year on the ground. Jefferson took the opening kickoff, and they actually crossed into Canutillo territory, picking up 3 third downs, but they were unable to convert on a 4th down play. And 2 plays, it's L.J. Martin taking it to the house. And we have I'll call a pass on the next drive, and it's intercepted by Canutillo. Jeremiah Ramos, so how about that? The Eagles get the ball back already at the Jefferson 45, 5:44, first quarter. It's Canutillo 7 and Jefferson 0.
All right, Jeremy, thank you so much. Boy, big defensive play there. So get a touchdown, then a big defensive play. All the momentum on Canutillo Eagles' side right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. L.J. Martin, huge last week. 3 touchdown runs, a touchdown reception, a 95-yard kickoff return in that huge, close win over Horizon. They only won that thing, what was like 45-35, something in that vicinity. No L.J. Martin. L.J. calls in sick. Hey, I got a little post-nasal drip. I'm going to have to miss tonight. Things don't work out so well for Canutillo, and here he is again tonight by district action. Give him the ball and see what he can do. And what he can do is plenty. And oh, by the way, an update from our Adrian Broadus. Hunter Standifer, not so fast, my friend. Again, borrowing from Brandon Cohn. It's Anthony Rivera. What a surprise. The guy who had the 2 touchdown receptions a week ago. Well, he's got an interception in this one. 6 catches, 94 yards, says Adrian Broadus. And now 2 touchdowns. It was not Standifer. It was Rivera on the touchdown reception. 21-7. Chapin on top and rolling.
That's right, 21-7, Chapin leading Amarillo Caprock at halftime. Also at half, San Angelo Central and Eastlake tied at just 7. A low-scoring game there for Steve Escajeda at the Student Activities Complex on the east side. End of first quarter, boy, the Permian Panthers and our Cisco Movers game in the night. Permian all over Franklin, 28-7. 21 unanswered points for the Mojo over the Cougars, and this one, if Franklin doesn't get back and get a score here soon, this one could really run away from the Franklin Cougars at home.
And some action out at Burgess Mustang Stadium. Our Brandon Cohn's going to have that. The ice broken there as well. Burgess Mustangs, they have their hands full with Horizon tonight. Burgess tri-champs in 2-5A. Horizon just runners-up, but they are runner-ups with a bullet.
We'll get an update from the Iceman, Brandon Cohn. Let's see who's on the line right now as we get an update from all over town. Remember, Del Valle and Amarillo inching towards halftime. Amarillo leading Del Valle 17-7. Canutillo striking first, 7-0 over Jefferson. And let's head out to the Iceman, Brandon Cohn, for an update. You heard it. Burgess and Horizon. Iceman, take it away.
6:43 remaining opening quarter. Horizon with a 7-0 lead in this one. 8-minute mark of the first. Horizon, after marching all the way down the field, utilizing Ernie Garcia quite extensively, had Kiosk. He ends up finding his wide out Aaron Barraza in the far back of the end zone. He takes a heck of a shot, but ends up holding on for the 16-yard touchdown, making the score Horizon 7-0. Burgess then goes 3-and-out on their first possession. 6:43 opening quarter here, and it's Horizon 7-0 over Burgess.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. So the Horizon Scorpions at just 5-5 on the season, taking it to the Burgess Mustangs early. Burgess coming in at 7-3, 7-0. Horizon over Burgess early on in the first quarter. We're going to take a break, step away for a few minutes, and we'll be right back with much more playoff action right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. You're listening to Football Friday Night.
Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
Welcome back to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Remember, our real-time action is brought to you by the El Paso Association of Builders. Real high school football action is brought to you by Real Texas Builders. Ask your home builder if they're members of the El Paso Association of Builders, the home of Real Texas Builders. That's elpasobuilders.com. And we have some updates from the land of enchantment in New Mexico. The 6A quarterfinals in the first quarter, the 5th seed Las Cruces Bulldogs lead the 4th seed Centennial Hawks 14-0. So Cruces all over their in-city rivals 14-0 early on. And in the 5A quarterfinals, top seed Farmington scores 30 seconds into the game against 8 seed Santa Teresa. So Farmington leading Santa Teresa 7-0. In our Cisco Movers game of the night, the Permian Panthers and the Franklin Cougars. Whoa, this one in the first quarter has been all Permian. 28-7. Permian leads the Franklin Cougars right now at Franklin Cougar Stadium. This game tied at 7 early on, but Permian with 21 unanswered points to take the lead 28-7 in the second quarter now. At halftime, Midland Legacy leading Pebble Hills 23-8. Eastwood leading Abilene 20-6. Yeah, Eastwood looking really big. 14 unanswered points before halftime there. And in 5A, El Dorado trailing Amarillo Tascosa at halftime 21-7.
Yeah, I'm looking at that one now as a fourth quarter score. Again, it's the internet, so you never know. But Amarillo Tascosa now 47-7. And as I said, that one into the fourth quarter. Tascosa, without their starting quarterback, the Daniel kid went down a week ago. It doesn't seem to matter against that El Dorado D.
Wow, look at that. Clint, San Angelo, Lakeview in 4A. Clint leading Lakeview 7-0 at halftime. At last check, Brady was up on Anthony 20-7 in the playoffs. And also Fort Stockton all over Mountain View 40-0. Once again, remember, Riverside looking also in 4A as we talk about 4A. Lake Worth and Hereford. Riverside will play the winner of that game. We'll keep you updated as the night progresses. And let's head out to Del Valle's Conquest Stadium as Del Valle hosting Amarillo. Now at halftime, let's see if the Del Valle Conquistadors could hold on to that 10-point deficit. It's a tough game for Del Valle. Let's head out to the coach, Jaime Chavez, for an update. Coach.
Halftime at Conquest Stadium. It's Amarillo 17 and Del Valle 7. The scoring for Amarillo: Tyrese Molden, a 63-yard touchdown run. Mason Graham, a 7-yard touchdown run. And Luke Laminack had a 25-yard field goal in the second quarter. And he had a 17-yard field goal attempt blocked just before the half ended. And the only scoring thus far for Del Valle, Jesse Ramos, a 1-yard touchdown run. For Amarillo, quarterback Brock Wade, he's 7 of 11, 125 yards passing. And Amarillo's running right at the heart of that Del Valle defense. Wade, 4 carries, 36 yards rushing. And J.Q. Irvin for Amarillo, 6 carries, 36 yards rushing. Del Valle quarterback Jesse Ramos, he's 10 of 14, 88 yards passing. He's got 8 carries and 52 yards rushing. He's been sacked twice by the Amarillo defense. And by the way, Amarillo has as a team has 24 sacks coming into tonight's contest. And Del Valle's 1,000-yard rusher Christian Martinez only has 8 yards on 2 carries, and he has not played since the second series this evening. He is nursing an injured ankle. He spent a lot of time now on the sidelines. And tonight's winner of this 1-5A by-district game, tonight's winner will play Lubbock Cooper or Colleyville Heritage next week in the area playoffs. So halftime at Del Valle's Conquest Stadium. It's Amarillo 17 and Del Valle 7.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Tough first half of the Del Valle Conquistadors. Let's see if the second half is much better for Del Valle hosting Amarillo. Let's head out to our Cisco Movers Game of the Week and join Alex Nicholas with an update on Permian and Franklin in the second quarter. Alex.
8:03 left until halftime, and we have a ball game. Franklin, their defense would come up with a big stop, and then you would turn it back over to the offense. 2 plays later, a 68-yard touchdown pass from Cameron Bird to Miles McWhorter right in the middle of the field, and that would cut the Permian lead in half. 8:03 left until halftime. Permian 28, Franklin 14.
Alex, thank you so much. Our Cisco Movers game of the week. So the Franklin Cougars hopefully making a game of this one, down 28-7. It's a big touchdown there. So now 28-14 with 8 minutes to go. Cisco Movers can help with packing, boxing, heavy lifting, or moving your belongings to your next destination. They also offer storage at their facility. Take it from a family-owned company like Cisco Movers. They'll give you a great price and help you on your next big move. Get started by filling out a request form at CiscoMovers.com. Cisco Movers, the best move you'll make in El Paso. Let's head out to Burgess Mustang Stadium and join Brandon Cohn, the Iceman, with an update on Burgess hosting Horizon. Brandon.
2:39 left here in the opening quarter, and it is Horizon with a 14-0 lead over Burgess. At the 2:50 mark of the first, Horizon just continuing to dominate on offense. This time, their quarterback, Tejas, he ends up scoring on the 1-yard keeper to make the score 14-0. Also, worth mentioning that Burgess has no answer for Ernie Garcia so far, 8 carries, 73 yards. It's 2:39 to go, opening quarter, and thus far, it's Horizon 14-0 over Burgess.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. Paul, kind of talking about this game, and you go, where's Tavoris Jones? This seems like this would be a game where he would tee off in a playoff game at home, and right now it's been all Horizon.
Yeah, and he's a guy who went for 300 a week ago against El Paso High. We're not saying that the Horizon defense is impregnable. I mean, L.J. Martin, as we chronicled, ripped him to shreds last week. In fact, if it was the defense that couldn't hang with the Canutillo offense, not usually a way for the Canutillo team. It's usually their D that they hang their hat on. But, Horizon was able to make a dent, and Canutillo as well. And Burgess and Tavares Jones, thus far, no. And that's at home. You know, you want to come out strong in the first quarter. I don't think the Mustangs have lost a game at Mustang Stadium yet this year, but they're on the way tonight.
Absolutely. So there you go. Horizon leading the Burgess Mustangs 14-0 that late in the first quarter. Thank you to the Iceman, Brandon Cohn, for that update. And once again, Permian in our Cisco Movers game of the week. Permian leading Franklin 28-14. At halftime, San Angelo Central and Eastlake tied at 7. Also at half, Chapin leading Amarillo Caprock 21-7, and Delvi trailing Amarillo 17-7. Let's head out to Julius and Irene Lowenberg Stadium and join Jeremy Caranco for an update on Canutillo and Jefferson. Jeremy.
27 seconds left to go in the long first quarter, and it's now Canutillo 14 to Jefferson 0. The Story Silver Foxes now turned it over 3 times. They really feel like all is on the line tonight. They go for it on 4th down from their own 20, and it is an incomplete Alcala pass to Dylan Navarro across the middle, and Devin Granados, the quarterback for Canutillo, he can run it too, guys. He runs it up the middle for a 2-yard touchdown. Extra point is good, and Granados now 11 touchdowns and a little bit behind L.J. Martin in the shadows, 670 yards rushing on the season. The quarterback does it as well. So 20 seconds and counting first quarter is now Canutillo 14, Jefferson 0.
And, Beau, you missed a couple of weeks, so you might not have noticed. L.J. Martin broke the 2,000-yard barrier last week. I think 2,000 and maybe 70 by the time he was done.
Was anybody doubting him?
Oh, gosh. the only, for the record, the only guy thus far over 2,000 yards. I think the next closest is Ernie Garcia, and he's in the 1,500s. At least he was before Burgess put those 73 yards on there. Maybe he's into 1,600s by now.
Well, L.J. Martin really has proved all season long what a quality running back he is for the Canutillo Eagles, hoping to make a giant, deep playoff run, and they're going to need starting it off well tonight, of course, but the Canutillo defense doing it, forcing 3 Jefferson turnovers. That will do it every single time for you. If you force 3 turnovers in one quarter to open up a playoff game, that only demoralizes your opponent.
Yeah, look at the Riverside Rangers if you need proof of that. What are they, like 30? I think they were 30 turnovers going into last night, or maybe after last night, into the 30s now, and 10-1 on the ledger. Yeah, turnovers have a lot to do with W's and L's.
Absolutely. Hey, end of the first quarter up in Las Cruces, a battle of Las Cruces in the 6A quarterfinals. The Las Cruces Bulldogs lead the Centennial Hawks 21-7. So a very big game. Remember, Las Cruces coming into that as the 5th seed, Centennial the 4th seed.
Boy, those high school games draw pretty well up there. I was at the New Mexico State game, New Mexico State, Utah State on Saturday, and they had, a listed 7,000. It was an afternoon kickoff, 2 o'clock kick. And one of the main issues that was cited, well, Clovis Mayfield was going at the same time. You're peeling off, a lot of your attendance going to high school games instead of the college.
There you go. Absolutely. A lot of people love the high school football games. And when Las Cruces and Mayfield were in the same division, boy, when they would play at Aggie Memorial Stadium, there was nothing more exciting. When not only they're going for maybe a state championship or district title, it was always packed. And speaking of Mayfield, they are the 5th seed in the 5A quarterfinals. They will play at 4th seed, 1 p.m. tomorrow. That's Artesia. So Artesia will host Mayfield tomorrow. Let's head back out to the SAC. Eastlake and San Angelo Central underway in the second half. Let's join Steve Escajeda for an update on the Falcons and the Bobcats. Steve.
We've got 6:49 here left to go in the third quarter, and San Angelo Central has taken a 10-7 lead over Eastlake. They took the opening kickoff there in the second half and methodically marched down the field until they were stopped on third down, a fourth down. They went for a field goal, and Eric Rodriguez nailing one from the 38 yards out, again to give Eastlake the 10-7 lead. And to give Central the 10-7 lead. And Central, their quarterback, Tyler Hill, getting hot there in this third quarter. He's now 8 out of 10 for 118 yards and a touchdown. He connected 3 times on that drive with their tight end, Kevon Rice, who now has 4 catches for 28 yards. Again, the field goal has put San Angelo Central on top. 6:49 to go in the third. San Angelo Central 10, Eastlake 7.
All right, Steve, thank you so much. What a big win, or what a big lead right there in a tight ball game. 10-7 were points, so it looked like they're going to be hard to come by. So third quarter, Central leading Eastlake.
And in a game that's not so tight, Beau, out at Grande Communication Stadium, Midland Legacy, one more time, open up the third quarter with a drive and a 5-yard touchdown. 30-8 now, they lead Pebble Hills.
Woo, that's a tough one for Legacy Rebels, leading the Pebble Hills Spartans 30-8. Hey, let's head out to our Cisco Movers Game of the Week. We got an update on Permian and Franklin in the second quarter. Alex Nicholas with the update. Alex, take it away.
7.5 minutes left until halftime. Permian 28, Franklin 21. When you last left me, Franklin scored on that 68-yard touchdown pass from Cameron Bertamalis from a quarter, but there would be some extracurricular activities after that, which would be on Permian. It would be a dead ball personal foul. So Franklin kicking on the plus side of the field. Great decision there. They tried to onside kick, and Noah Alvarez was there to recover at the 33-yard line. A few plays later, they would run a reverse play with Dominic Ariano reaching pay dirt from 11 yards out, and the Cougars have roared back, pun intended, with 7:04 left here until halftime. Permian leading Franklin 28-21.
And Beau, the plot starting to thicken a bit out in Abilene. 7.5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Abilene has closed the gap to one score, 20-13 now. Eastwood still on top of Abilene, getting the ball in their hands. Let's see what they can do with it.
Well, the Eastwood Troopers knew they would have an uphill battle, and the Franklin Cougars thinking they would have maybe the upper hand at home, but Permian jumping out to a 28-7 lead after the first quarter, but here come the Franklin Cougars. 14 unanswered points, now 28-21, and 2 touchdowns within 30 seconds. Alex Nicholas looked like the Franklin Cougars made a fantastic idea on an onside kick, and they went for it, and they got it. And then they scored, so what a job there by the Franklin Cougars. And I think all night he's been waiting to use that line. Here come the Cougars roaring back. I'm sure he's been waiting all night to say that. But look, we got some great games going on. Permian Franklin, just a 7-point game. San Angelo Central and Eastlake, a 3-point game in the third quarter. Del Valle and Amarillo, just a 10-point game at the half. Del Valle trailing Amarillo by 10. And here comes Chapin looking really, really good against Amarillo Caprock, up 21-7. These games, you think closely tight contested battles in the playoffs. And here we go again. As we get into the second half, this is going to be a fun night.
Hey, Beau, let me throw a couple of those out-of-town scores again. First time we've seen this one. Trinity, Euless Trinity, 8-7. They lead Keller. Trinity's 9-1. Keller 6-4. This is in the big school 6As. The reason it's important, the winner of this gets the Franklin Odessa Permian winner. That may become less important in another 30 minutes to an hour if Franklin can't get back in charge, get their flow on and close. Remember, Franklin was down a ton to Rio Rancho, Cleveland. I know that was a loss too, but it was a narrow loss. Scored some late touchdowns, so we'll see what happens tonight with those Cougars, as you said, roaring back into the contest. Byron Nelson up on Weatherford, 21-7. That's Division II 6A. The winner of that one gets the East Lake San Angelo Central winner. We already told you Boswell beat VR Eaton last night, 40-37. They'll get the Eastwood Abilene winner. Elsewhere, Lake Worth leads Hereford 23-12. The winner of that one gets Riverside at a spot that's already been determined. I believe they're thinking Midland on Friday next week. So we'll see if that happens. Also, Hershey up on Pampa, 18-3. The winner of that gets the Clint winner, and last we checked, Clint was up 7-0 at halftime in that one. Couple of Thursday nighters, Canyon Randall beat Wyatt 63-21. They'll get the winner of that Canutillo contest. Wichita Falls Rider all over Creekview 48-6. They will get Andrus, who was all over Isleta last night. Lubbock Cooper beat Southwest 42-0. They will hook up with Parkland again. Oh boy, those have been fun. The last time Cooper didn't go to the regional finals, it was Parkland that knocked him off. What was that, 4 years ago? And a real thriller last year. Parkland came up on the short end of that. But 42-0, Cooper over Southwest improves to 10-1. And lastly, Grapevine. District 4 5A. You're not used to seeing them get wins. Beats Wichita Falls 44-7. Woo. And the winner of that game gets the winner of Burgess and Horizon. And last we checked, it might be Horizon off to a 14-0 start at Burgess Mustang Stadium.
Absolutely. That out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Longhorn Distributing, the only hot seat dealer in West Texas and southern New Mexico. Your source for cleaning equipment, service, and supplies. Longhorn Distributing, 5516 East Paisano Drive in El Paso. Let's head out to the Iceman, Brandon Cohn, for an update on those Horizon Scorpions and Burgess Mustangs. At last check, it was 14-0 Horizon. Brandon, what's the update?
11:08 first half, and it is Horizon 14-6 now over Burgess. The Scorpions, a flawless first quarter. Not so much into the second quarter, though. Only 9 seconds in at the 11:51 mark of the second. Horizon and their running back, Ernie Garcia, he fumbles at the Mustangs 30, recovered by Burgess cornerback David Hernandez. Then 2 plays later, the Mustangs capitalize on the Scorpions' goof as running back Tavares Jones scores on a 20-yard touchdown. And actually, that's a 6-yard TD. That's his 24th touchdown of the season on the 6-yard TD. The PAT, though, was no good, making the score Horizon 14-6 over Burgess. We have 11:08 to go here in the opening half, and it is Horizon 14-6 over Burgess.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. What a tight game there. We got tight games all over the city, all over the state. It's going to be a very fun night. We're going to take a break. We'll have all your scores and real-time action next on Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
You're listening to Football Friday Night on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
Welcome back to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go to some Longhorn Distributing out-of-town scores. In the Permian Basin, Midland Legacy leading Pebble Hills 30-8, that in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, late in this game, Amarillo Tascosa has punched in another touchdown. They now lead El Dorado 53-7. That in the fourth quarter, 5 minutes to go in that game. And the Eastwood Troopers still leading Abilene 20-13. Now it was 20-6 at halftime, but Eastwood's still hanging on there.
And then some. Troopers on the board again, maybe not the way we would like, but a field goal. Eastwood kicks one nearing the end of the third quarter. Troopers now back up 2 scores, 23-13. They lead Abilene. at Abilene. Second place, Abilene, right behind Midland Legacy in District 2-6A. Wow, this would be a shocker if they're able to pull it off.
Absolutely. And field goals, I know the Troopers don't normally go for field goals. That might be their first or second one all year. They usually just do PATs after running up 60, 70, 80 points. But field goals could be crucial in Abilene, especially going up 2 scores.
Especially if you can hold them for another drive or two, as the clock starts, especially the favorite. You're at your place, you're down 10 points. As the clock ticks, man, and we get into the fourth quarter and time's running out, that's when the nerves really show up.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, this drive right here is key. If Eastwood can keep Abilene off the board, get the football back, and maybe able to take a little time off the clock, man, that's when the Abilene folks are really going to start sweating.
Absolutely. We'll keep you updated on that game. Let's head out to our Cisco Movers game of the week. The Permian Panthers and the Franklin Cougars, and join Alex Nicholas for an update on a barn burner at Franklin Cougar Stadium. Alex.
1:42 left until halftime. Permian leading Franklin 28-21. The momentum pendulum has been swinging huge over the last few seconds here. Franklin stopped Permian on a 4th down and short from their own Franklin's 14-yard line. 2 plays later, though, Cameron Bird would throw a 50-50 ball here on the near side, and it would actually be Corey McCoy who would pick it off for Permian. 2 plays later, they have a 1st down and 10 it's actually a 1st down and 16 from the Franklin, 1st down and 15 from the Franklin 16-yard line with 92 seconds and running left here until halftime. Permian leading Franklin 28-21.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. What a first half there at Franklin Cougar Stadium. They've seen a lot of games, a lot of shootouts, but this could be the best one in the playoffs against the Mojo. What a fun game out there at Franklin High School.
And especially when you spot them at 14, getting behind 14 points, that's not much fun.
Behind 21 points.
Oh, 21 zip, is that right? Wow.
No, 28-7.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, the coming back part, though, it's pretty nice. Not on the other side, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Hey, let's head out to the SAC. The Eastlake Falcons hosting the San Angelo Central Bobcats, and get an update. This was just 10-7 Central over Eastlake in the 3rd quarter. Let's get an update from Steve Escajeda on this exciting game at the SAC. Steve.
We've got 2:47 now to go in the 3rd quarter, and we're still at San Angelo Central 10, Eastlake 7. Right now, Eastlake has the ball 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line, thanks to a pass interference call. So, again, they're trying to develop some kind of a drive here, at least either tie things up or take the lead. What Eastlake's going to have to do is they're going to have to run the football much better than they have been tonight. They've been averaging 226 yards on the ground per game this year. So far in this ball game, 17 carries, 50 yards as a team. That's 2.9 yards a carry, and that's not what Eastlake is used to. Their star, Elijah Uribe, averaging 151 yards a ball game, 15 carries, just 41 yards tonight. So, again, they're going to pick up that running game if they're going to have any chance to win this one. 2:12 and counting here to go in the 3rd quarter. San Angelo Central 10, Eastlake 7.
And from Grande Communications Stadium, Legacy on the board one more time, 6-yard TD pass as they jump out to a 36-8 lead over Pebble Hills. Pebble Hills hung tough for about a half, but this one looks like it's going sideways.
Yeah, tough game for the Pebble Hills Spartans against Midland Legacy. And, well, it's going to be a tough game for the Franklin Cougars if they don't come back, but we got another update in our Cisco Movers game of the week. Permian and Franklin. Alex Nicholas with an update. Alex, take it away.
1:18 left until halftime. Permian 35, Franklin 21. When you guys last left me, Permian was facing a 3rd down and 15 from the Franklin 16-yard line. Rodney Hall, 16-yard touchdown run off of the veer, had Franklin's defensive eyes all over the place, went up their left side and carried the pile in for the last 2 yards. That would actually be set up by a 31-yard screenplay. He tossed it to the near side. Tahari Jones would take it 31 yards to set up that score. Hall over 100 yards rushing on the evening with 112 yards, and he's also thrown 2 touchdown passes. 1:08 left until halftime. Permian 35, Franklin 21.
Whew, what a game. That's 56 points in the first half. So far, there's still a minute 15 to go.
That's what I was going to say. Another minute and a half for those Cougars to zip down the field.
Hey, we got an update from Burgess Mustang Stadium. Let's join the Iceman, Brandon Cohn, for an update on Burgess hosting Horizon. Brandon.
7:26 opening half. Horizon now with a 21-6 lead. At the 7:32 mark, there was Scorpions running back Ernie Garcia. He's redeeming himself for the previous fumble. He scores on a 3-yard touchdown run. And worth noting on this last drive, their quarterback Quijas running all over Burgess. He had 3 carries for 40 yards alone on the previous drive. We have 7:03 left in the opening half, and it's all Horizon 21-6 over Burgess.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. Boy, the Horizon Scorpions, they just keep pounding the Burgess Mustangs at Mustang Stadium. Horizon looking good so far in the first half.
And you have that, we talk about it all the time. Do you have at least a 2-headed attack? Do you have 2 weapons you can go to? Horizon has, especially since the Quijas kid really started to pick things up. I think with that Chapin game, the shootout, they lost 56-53, but that Horizon offense has been on fire ever since. You have Ernie Garcia, 1,500-yard runner, whether through the handoff or coming out of the backfield catching passes like he did last week. A couple of big touchdown passes early to get him in that Canutillo game. But Quijas is a 1,000-yard rusher, too. This is one of the few teams, we counted him down. I don't know, what are there, 2 or 3? Riverside is the only one that jumps to mind where you have 2,000-yard rushers on your team. Quijas is over 1,000, and, of course, Ernie Garcia is as well. And the defense has to watch both of those guys equally. Who can you key on? Well, you key on Garcia, look out, there goes Quijas. And when you start looking at Quijas, you give Ernie Garcia a gap, and he's going to go 40.
There you go. Absolutely. So 21-6 Horizon over Burgess at Mustang Stadium in the second quarter. Let's head out to Lowenberg Stadium, get an update on Canutillo and Jefferson from Jeremy Caranco. Jeremy.
4:11 second quarter. It is now Canutillo 21 and Jefferson 7. We were calling into the show to tell you Jeff is within a touchdown. And it was Nathan Alcala who found Jose Rodriguez for a 27-yard score to get the Silver Foxes on the board for the first time tonight. And then just 3 plays later, the explosive Canutillo rushing game. 3 plays later, it's L.J. Martin who took off for a 42-yard rush, and then following up, it's a 26-yard touchdown run all the way across to the left-hand sideline. Devin Granados is second of the night. PAT is good. Canutillo now up 21-7. And worth mentioning, guys, the Canutillo defense has been stellar. We mentioned 3 turnovers, and on the season they now have a total of 21. A little bit behind the scenes, Canutillo's defense can also match its offense. So 3:59 second quarter, Canutillo up 21-7 over Jeff.
All right, Jeremy, thank you so much. Boy, what a game there for the Canutillo Eagles, but Jefferson making a game of it. And let's see if Jefferson can come. Every game seems to be pretty tight tonight. Let's see if Jefferson can make this one tight as well.
Yeah, even this is a tough game for Jeff tonight, but look how they still hang in there. That's what they've done. Nobody has outclassed them. They've been in almost every game that they've taken on, even against those better teams. We said they're not able to beat. They haven't been able to beat the Burgesses, the Austins, the Andruses, and maybe tonight the Canutillos. But, they show what they're worth, and they make it tough on those other teams. Maybe you're going to beat Jefferson, but it's not going to be an easy night getting there.
Absolutely. Hey, at halftime, the Chapin Huskies led Amarillo Caprock 21-7. Let's head out to Austin's R.E. McKee Stadium and join Adrian Broadus for an update on Chapin and Caprock. Adrian.
It's the start of the fourth quarter here, and Chapin leads Caprock 21-14. The Longhorns have been benefited by their tailback, Damon Carrasco. 34 carries, over 200 yards. I've got him at 203 right now with 2 rushing touchdowns. Now, the first rushing touchdown he had was from 2 yards out, but the second one, he's carrying 3 different Chapin guys in from 13 yards out, and that started things off here in the third quarter. Chapin booted it back to Caprock, and the Longhorns had a 54-yard bomb for Leighton Brown out to Jadis Ortega, and that is now where we're at right here. So, again, start of the fourth quarter right here. Chapin on top of Caprock, 21-14.
All right, another tight one there. There we go.
And, Beau, actually, this note from Adrian Broadus sent it to me. Summit and Azle They're next up for the winner of this Chapin contest. Summit at halftime. Mansfield Summit 28-14. They lead Hazel 7-3 versus 8-2. And as I said, the winner of that contest, the winner of this Chapin Caprock contest, they're going to hook up in a round of 32 battle a week from now.
Well, we're going to see if it's the Chapin Huskies. We got tight ball games from the SAC at Austin's R.E. McKee Stadium, at Del Valle, at Mustang Stadium, and at Lowenberg Stadium. All over town, and we got a call-in. Looks like we got another update right here on Football Friday Night. As remember, our games all over town are just exciting. We'll see if the Franklin Cougars and our Cisco Movers game of the week can get back in. It's 35-21 Permian over Franklin. And now let's head back out to Jaime Chavez at Conquest Stadium and get an update from Del Valle and Amarillo. It was 17-7 Amarillo at the half. Coach, what do you got for us?
10:31 left in the third quarter. It is now Amarillo 24 and Del Valle 7. Amarillo linebacker Jacob Greason, a 17-yard interception return for a touchdown, and the extra point is good. Del Valle deep in their own territory on the 3rd and long. Jesse Porras under pressure from that Amarillo defensive line. He's setting up for a screen pass, and he lobs the ball over, and he never saw Greason coming. Greason took it untouched for the 17-yard interception return for a touchdown for the Amarillo Sandys, and they're leading 24-7 with 10:08 left in the third quarter. And the other scores for Amarillo: Tyrese Molden, a 63-yard touchdown run. Backup quarterback Mason Graham, a 7-yard touchdown run. And Luke Amanik, a 25-yard field goal. The only score for Del Valle tonight, Jesse Ramos, the quarterback, a 1-yard touchdown run. Ramos is 10 of 15 for 88 yards passing. He's got 1 interception, and he's been sacked twice, and they're really putting the pressure on the Del Valle quarterback. So we've got 9:48 left in the third quarter at Conquest Stadium. It's all Amarillo. Amarillo 24 and Del Valle 7.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. We got exciting games all over town. Let's head out to Adrian Broadus at Austin's R.E. McKee Stadium, get an update on Chapin and Caprock. Adrian.
11:53 left here in the game, and it's a tie ball game. Caprock ties it up 21-21 with Chapin, and it was right after I hung up with you guys. Damon Carrasco had his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night, this time from 19 yards out. He's got 35 carries, 222 rushing yards tonight, and he's leading the Longhorns in a big way in this one. Momentum has completely shifted out here at R.E. McKee Stadium, and the Chapin Huskies have now fallen with Caprock scoring 14 unanswered here in the second half. 11:53 left here in the game. Caprock 21, Chapin 21.
And momentum yet to shift out at Abilene. That game headed to the fourth quarter. Eastwood still up on Abilene, 23-13.
Wow, what a game there. All right, let's head back out to our Cisco Movers game of the week. It was 35-21 Permian over Franklin. Let's see if there's a change and join Alex Nicholas with an update. Alex.
Just went to halftime, gentlemen, and Permian leads Franklin 35-28, but there was some hot action towards the end of that half. So Permian would get the stop on defense. They would take over about 30 seconds left inside their own 30-yard line. On the first down play, Rodney Hall would try to throw a bomb in the middle of the field. Hector Facio would have his 4th interception of the season. He would return it about 19 yards. Very next play, Cameron Bird would go up top, and he'd find a wide open Dominique Ariano in the back of the end zone for the score with 10 seconds left until halftime. And that is where we're at right now. I do have some halftime stats. Can't give you guys a halftime report while I'm at it. First half dominated by really the offensive line of the Permian Panthers. 362 total yards for the Mojo. That's 10.3 yards per play. Rodney Hall, 5 of 9 passing, 146 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and that interception. Hall also 112 yards and a touchdown. Jaquan Richardson, 2 catches, 105 yards, and a pair of scores, and he also has 2 rushing touchdowns. For Franklin, Cameron Bird, took him a while to get going, but now he's starting to get into a rhythm. He's 9 of 20, passing 162 yards, but Permian's really taken away the run game. Bo Sparks, just 1 catch. That came on one of Franklin's final drives, 1 catch for 2 yards. They have 200 total yards of offense and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 first downs for the Franklin Cougars in the first half. It's been back and forth, but the big key here, Franklin does get the ball to start the second half after a wild first half that saw both teams go up and down. But really, the big momentum changing play was that recovering of an onside to really get that momentum going and then be able to score off of that. And that's where we are at now. Halftime here in the 6A Region 1 Division 1 by district round. It's Permian leading Franklin 35-28 at halftime.
And you got to love the way you just went into halftime if you're Darren Walker.
Absolutely.
Down a couple of scores, don't even have the football. All of a sudden, interception, bing, bang, boom, couple of seconds left. Dominic Adriano, the touchdown reception. Go into halftime, down one score, and it gets even better. Second half kickoff, coming to those Franklin Cougars. Let's see if they can just take this and run with it right past the Mojo.
You mean roaring past the Mojo? I know, Alex, I stole that one from you. Thank you so much, Alex. 35-28, 63 combined points in the first half by Permian and Franklin. What a game there. Let's go out to the SAC. We got an update from San Angelo Central and Eastlake. Let's join Steve Escajeda. Steve.
We've got 11:58 here to go in the fourth quarter, and Eastlake has now taken a 14-10 lead over San Angelo Central. Elijah Oribe scoring on a 2-yard run. Last time we spoke, we said that he was struggling. His first 14 carries, he only had 41 yards on the night. Well, since we spoke, he carried the ball 6 times on that last drive for 35 yards alone, giving him 76 in the ball game. And again, with that running game, that's what Eastlake loves to do. And they were able to power that ball down. Elijah Oribe scoring from 2 yards out to give Eastlake the lead. We've just started the fourth quarter, 11:51 to go. Eastlake now on top of San Angelo Central, 14-10.
And Steve said it exactly right. Elijah Uribe, big guy. He's nimble for his size, but he's a big guy at his base. And he's a battering ram. And that's what you need. First 6 carries, not so great, but now he's on to 14. Yeah, a little bit better. And when he gets to 24, let's see what's going on then. I saw the Eastwood game, and this guy, that was this, what was it, 7 touchdown game? Maybe 8 total. I can't even remember. Carried the ball 46 times, I think. The Eastwood defense just got to a point where they could not stop him. 3 yards, 4 yards, 6 yards, first down. A rebound first, a rebound second, a rebound third. And when you give this guy the ball and he's able to batter into a defense time after time after time, the hope is between him and that big offensive line, they can just wear the other team down. Maybe they're getting to that point, and now it puts a little pressure on the opposition. They're thinking, hey, if we don't score now, they're going to give it back to that big guy, and they're just going to push the ball down the field and take another 8 minutes off the clock. And before we know it, we're going to be getting on our bus and going back with an L.
Absolutely. We got a final. It's El Dorado and Amarillo Tascosa. It's a final. Tascosa tops El Dorado 53-7. Again, that's a final. El Dorado ends the season 4-7 overall. Tascosa improves to 9-2. We're going to take a break here. Much more as we get into halftime for some of our 7 o'clock kickoffs. And then also, we're getting down to the wire and plenty of games all around town. And we're going to take a break, and we'll have much more on Football Friday Night right here. You're listening to 600 ESPN El Paso. Welcome back to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. We got some scores all around the city. But first, final from Amarillo Tascosa. Tascosa tops El Dorado 53-7. Paul, you got some score updates?
Yeah, more news from Abilene. This not good. A little bit closer. Eastwood still on top, but breathing a little heavier than they were maybe 5 minutes ago. 23-19 now. Abilene scores a touchdown, misses the extra point. Yeah, I assume they kicked it. That's a big miss because now you got to score a touchdown instead of kicking a field goal to possibly tie. 5 minutes left in the contest. Eastwood Troopers with the football. 3 first downs might take care of this thing, but that's going to be a tough 3 first downs. 23-19, Eastwood leads Abilene late in the fourth quarter.
Still holding on, and also Midland Legacy leading Pebble Hills 36-8. That at Grande Communication Stadium. Up at also at halftime down in San Angelo. Clint leading Lakeview 21-0, that in the fourth quarter. Up in the Land of Enchantment, 6A quarterfinals, the Las Cruces Bulldogs leading the Centennial Hawks 28-14, that at the half. And Farmington in the 5A quarterfinals. Farmington, the top seed, scored 30 seconds into the ball game, haven't scored 6. since Santa Teresa gets 6 on the board. So at halftime, Santa Teresa trails Farmington by 1 point, 7-6. Let's now head out to Del Valle's Conquest Stadium. Join the coach, Jaime Chavez, for an update on Del Valle hosting Amarillo. Coach.
6:43 left in the third quarter. It is now Amarillo 31 and Del Valle 7. Amarillo running back Levi Slayton, a 95-yard touchdown run. The extra point is good, and that's only his third carry of the game. And the other scoring for Amarillo, Tyrese Molden, a 63-yard touchdown run. Mason Graham, a 7-yard touchdown run. And Luke Laminack, a 25-yard field goal. One score thus far, 1 TD for the Del Valle Conquistadores. Jesse Ramos, a 1-yard touchdown run. He's struggling tonight. He's 12 of 20, 110 yards passing, 1 interception, and he's been sacked twice. And he's also leads Del Valle in rushing, 54 yards and 10 carries. Right now we have an official's timeout, another Del Valle player injured. So we've got 6:43 left in the third quarter in El Paso's Lower Valley at Conquest Stadium. Amarillo 31, Del Valle 7.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. That game early on just tied at 7 in the second quarter, but this one just getting away from the Conquistadors. Now 31-7 Amarillo over Del Valle. Let's head out to Lowenberg Stadium, get an update on Jefferson at Canutillo with Jeremy Caranco. Jeremy.
We've reached halftime at Lowenberg Stadium, and it is now Canutillo 27 and Jefferson 7. Right before the half ended, it was L.J. Martin with a 10-yard rushing touchdown, his second of the night, 179 yards and 14 carries, leading the Canutillo Eagles with a total of 217 yards as a team on 22 plays. To Jefferson, 94 yards on 31 plays, and Nathan Alcala, 7 out of 15, 62 yards with a touchdown and an interception, a 27-yard score. To Jose Rodriguez, but the bigger story is the Canutillo defense. That's interception and 2 forced fourth down turnovers on down. So halftime winner faces Canyon Randall in the area round next week, and it's Canutillo with a good start, 27-7 over Jeff.
All right, Jeremy, thank you so much. 27-7, Canutillo over Jefferson. Hey, we got a tie ball game, 21-all at Austin High School. Chapin hosting Amarillo Caprock. Let's head out to Adrian Broadus for an update on Chapin and Amarillo Caprock. Adrian.
8 minutes to go in this game. Caprock has just taken the lead 28-21 over Chapin. It was an interception by Mason Standifer. It was Xavier Escamilla who picked off Mason Standifer on the following drive after the first touchdown by Damon Carrasco. And, of course, it was Carrasco who had a third rush all the way to the Chapin 5-yard line. He runs it in from 5 yards but fumbles. Luckily for Caprock, Keith Johnson falls on it and scores for the Longhorns. So now Damon Carrasco, I've got him at 40 carries, 273 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Should have been 4 with that rushing touchdown right there. But nonetheless, Caprock has scored 21 unanswered here in the second half. Ouch. 7:54 left in this game. It's Caprock on top of Chapin, 28-21.
Oh, tough. I don't know if it's going to change much of Chapin's season and what Ryan Warner has done in just his second year, but when you lead 21-7 at halftime, this has got to sting a bit right now in the fourth quarter. 8 minutes to go. Still a lot of time there. 8 minutes to go, but 21 unanswered points for Caprock. And this is one of those we just go, ouch.
A lot of game left, though, and Chapin's been in shootouts before. You know, we always go back to that Horizon game where they're trading touchdowns. These guys got to find a way to get that passing game hot again. It's not going to be the running game. Jacob Williamson was the only semblance of a rush game they had. I know he didn't play last week, so I wonder if maybe he re-aggravated that ankle.
All right, let's head out to Burgess Mustang Stadium, get an update on Horizon at Burgess. At last check, it was 21-6. Horizon over the Mustangs. Let's go out to Brandon Cohn and Iceman. What do you got for us?
1:23 left opening half, and it's now Horizon 28-14 over Burgess. At the 1:39 mark of the second, Burgess quarterback Rutledge throws a 30-yard touchdown to his wideout Ray Campos. Two-point conversion is good to wideout Sean Street, making the score Horizon 21-14. But then Horizon ends up saying they're not so fast as Scorpions. Garcia takes the ensuing kickoff 85 yards to the house for the touchdown to put the Scorpions up 28-14 with 1:20 to go here in the opening half. So back-to-back scores. Burgess gets a little closer, but then Horizon with the not-so-fast and Garcia on the 85 yards ensuing kickoff for the score. 1:15 left, opening half, and we have the score, Horizon 28-14 over Burgess.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. 28-14. Horizon just keeps scoring here in the first half. Look at those Scorpions go. We got an update from Grande Communications Stadium. Legacy has now increased their lead. They now lead Pebble Hills 43-8, that with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
And for Ernie Garcia, I believe that's his third kickoff return for a score this season. I know he has a punt return for a touchdown, and maybe ironically, we just heard Ray Campos' name. He's playing against the Burgess Mustangs team that has 3 kickoff returns for scores from Campos. So Burgess, I guess, getting a little of their own medicine. Wow, what a gut punch that is. Close back within a score, half's almost over. All of a sudden, kickoff return going the other way. You're down 28-14 again. And Burgess, a team not great at throwing the football. We've chronicled Tavares Jones is their weapon. Maybe they try to advance it through the air. Could make a big mistake here. Let's see how the final minute and a half goes at Mustang Stadium.
Hey, just about 3 minutes to go down at Lakeview, where this game is being played against Clint. Actually, Clint leading San Angelo Lakeview 27-0, just about 3.5 minutes to go in this game. So Clint playing really well right now, looking to win their third straight by-district title.
And Beau Pebble Hill's not going to get a win tonight, but still fighting the good fight. Just scored a touchdown, 15-yard touchdown run as they close within 43-15, I guess it is now, of Midland Legacy. Legacy's going to win that one in advance. Pebble Hills is going to be done for the season. But as I said, they're still fighting. And the lesson learned, man, there's a bunch of kids on this team, skilled guys, a bunch of sophomores. They're going to see these guys again. But the Pebble Hills kids are going to be a little older, juniors and seniors over the next couple of seasons. There's some special stuff ahead for these guys.
And remember, at halftime in our Cisco Movers Game of the Night, Game of the Week, maybe Game of the Year, Permian leading Franklin 35-28 at halftime.
And one team that's not leading anymore, 2:44 left to play in the contest, and Abilene sticks their nose out in front of Eastwood. You remember the missed extra point? 25-23 now. That's only a 6-point edge. So I don't know if they missed the extra. They couldn't miss the extra point again. And there's no way they would have gone for 2. 25-23 at the moment, maybe with an extra point pending. 2:44 left, giving the ball back to that Eastwood offense that's maybe been trying to run out the clock. Now they get back to what they do, which is that air raid offense. And let's see how quickly they can get down the field and either kick a field goal to get into OT or maybe win this thing with a TD.
Absolutely. We'll monitor this one very closely. Eastwood and Abilene. And San Angelo Central and Eastlake, a tight ball game over at the SAC. Let's go join Steve Escajeda for an update on the Falcons and the Bobcats. Steve.
We've got 3:40 left to go in the ball game, and the San Angelo Central Bobcats have taken a 17-14 lead over Eastlake, methodically moving the ball down the field with Sam Navarrete and Darius Ford on the ground. That drive ended with a quarterback, Tyler Hill, 5-yard run. Again, making it 17-14, 3:40 to go in this one. They've just kicked off, and that went into the end zone. So Eastlake will take over at their own 25-yard line. 1st and 10. Again, 3:40 left to play. If they get close, we will certainly be calling you back. It is now 3:40 left to go in the ball game. San Angelo Central 17, Eastlake 14.
Absolutely, Steve. We hope we hear from you in just a couple minutes. Right. Hopefully those Eastlake Falcons get back into the game, 17-14, trailing by 3. Let's head out to Conquest Stadium. Divine Amarillo. This one really rolling away from the Divide Conquistadors against the Sandys. Let's join Coach Jaime Chavez with an update, Coach.
5:13 left in the third quarter. It is now Amarillo 38, and then Via 7. Tyrese Molden, his second rushing touchdown of the night. An 8-yard touchdown run, this one on a jet sweep, and the extra point is good. Tyrese Molden, he's got 3 carries tonight, 75 yards rushing. and also the 63-yard touchdown run. Also for Amarillo, backup quarterback Mason Graham, a 7-yard touchdown run. Luke Laminack has a 25-yard field goal. And Levi Sladen for the Amarillo Sandys, a 95-yard touchdown run. And then we've got Moldens. He just scored on 8 yards on that jet sweep, the 8-yard touchdown run. Amarillo quarterback Brock Wade, he's 10 of 14, 150 yards passing. He's got 36 yards rushing on 5 carries, and his top receiver tonight is Jamison Garcia, 5 carries, 75 yards rushing, or 75 yards in receptions. And the only score for Del Valle, Jesse Ramos, a 1-yard touchdown run. And looks like if Amarillo can hang on, they'll play either Colleyville Heritage or Abilene Cooper in the District 5A area playoff next week. So we've still got lots of time. We've got 4:28 left in the third quarter at Del Valle's Conquest Stadium. It's all Amarillo Sandys. Amarillo 38, Del Valle 7.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Appreciate that update. Boy, 38 unanswered points for the Amarillo Sandys at Conquest Stadium, leading 38-7. We're going to take a quick break. Some of the games going to halftime, some of the games finalizing up. We're going to have an update on Eastwood and Abilene. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
You're listening to Football Friday Night on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
Welcome back to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. An exciting update from Abilene. Paul, take it away on Eastwood and Abilene.
Well, you heard Eastwood was behind Abilene, and I say was because
you're not anymore.
Right. A minute and 14 seconds later, the Eastwood Troopers back in the end zone, add a 2-point conversion. They now lead Abilene 31-25. The bad news, you scored too fast. 1:26 still on the clock. They had the ball to the 2-yard line, Beau Bagley. I'm going to gripe from 500 miles away or however far it is. Isn't there something? You're down 2. You're on the 2. I assume it's first down. Run some plays. Stay on the field to play. Take the time off the clock and kick. The only problem, it's high school, and high schoolers miss even short conversions. But, man, kill the clock. Kick the field goal, win the game. Don't give them the ball back with any time. On the good side, Eastwood down the field, 31-26 in the clutch. Let's see if their defense can do the same. 1:25 left.
Now, Abilene must score a touchdown to win this game.
And even more importantly, from what we're looking at, the extra point, which has been eluding them, at least on their last several touchdowns. I'm not sure what the problem is there.
Hey, we got an exciting game at the SAC, a 3-point game. Bobcats over the Falcons with 3.5 to go. And wait, Paul, you got another update.
Yeah, a little interruption for the moment. I mean, unless there's a flag on the play. Interception Eastwood is the text I get. 1:20 left on the clock. If that stands, it is Abilene, and I assume Abilene officials, but apparently the text that says, woo, right after it, verifies that the Eastwood Troopers have the ball, and, assuming Abilene doesn't have all 3 of their timeouts, maybe the game in hand, the Eastwood Troopers look like they might be advancing to the round of 32.
Abilene.
And Boswell.
Wow. Eastwood with an interception. We'll keep you updated on that one. Another exciting game at the SAC, a 3-point game. Let's head out to Steve Escajeda with an update on Eastlake and Central. Steve.
Thanks a lot, guys. You've got a minute 50 to go in the ball game, and Eastlake has retaken the lead. They're up 21-17 on Central. Right now, Central has the ball, second down and 10 at their own 42-yard line. We talked about Elijah Uribe. Well, I'll tell you what, on that last drive, he broke free for a 61-yard run. He didn't score. He was tackled at the 10-yard line. But a couple of plays later, Uribe ran it in from 5 yards out to give the East Falcons a 21-17 lead. Right now, again, Central has the ball on their own 42-yard line, second down and 10. They're out of timeouts in this one, so they've got to hurry up here. We're down to 1:50 again, like I say, to go in the ball game. Quarterback Tyler Hill into the shotgun for the San Angelo. Back to pass. He's going to go ahead and keep it, running up the middle. And he's up at the 40-yard line, the 45, where he's going to be down at about the 48-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of maybe 6 yards. They're going to mark him at the 48, their own 48. That's going to make it third down and about 4 yards to go. He's got to get to the 48-yard line of Eastlake. 3rd down and 4. Tyler now with the ball again. Looking, throwing. The ball's going to be caught. Going to be caught by English down to the Eastlake 40-yard line. That's going to be a 1st down. That's going to set them up 1st and 10 at the 40. And the clock is ticking. 1:15, 1:14 to go in this ball game.
Still a lot of time left.
Central, lots of time in this one. 21-17 Eastlake. Hill in the shotgun. Got it. Looking to his right. He's looking at his own ball. It's hit up in the air, almost intercepted, but that falls harmlessly to the ground. That ball was tipped by one of the linebackers, but they weren't able to get it. That's going to make it 2nd down and 10 from the Eastlake 41-yard line. Down to under a minute now. 59 seconds to go in this one. Eastlake, again, just taking a 21-17 lead. We talked about Uribe and his running. Well, he's up to about he's 146 yards on the night. Here we go. Hill, back to pass for Eastlake. For going down long in the end zone. That's going to be a little bit too far for Central. That's going to be incomplete. That's going to make it 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Again, from the 41-yard line of Eastlake. 52 seconds to go on the ball game. And what a game it's been where we have this little breakage here. Uribe just really come on in the second half. 146 yards rushing, 137 yards receiving. So, again, it took him a while, but, again, he's had one of those nights. And here we go, 3rd down and 10 for Central. Quarterback, Tyler Hill in the shotgun. He's got it right at midfield, looking to his right side, throwing. That ball's going to be caught right at the sideline. And they're going to see it's going to be complete. Yeah, but he's going to be out of bounds. It's off the clock at the 28-yard line. That's going to be a 1st down. That was caught by Jacob English. Again, their great receiver. That's going to set them up 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. 46 seconds to go on the ball game. Again, Tyler Hill in the shotgun. He's got the ball. Looking, throwing to the end zone. He's got a man. That's going to be... just knocked out at the last second. He was going for English again in the right corner of the end zone. And that ball was tipped away by a Eastlake defender. It was Saeed Uribe, little brother. He knocked it out of the way at the last second. That's going to make it 2nd and 10 Central at the 28-yard line of Eastlake. We're down to 40 seconds to go in this ball game. Again, Central's out of timeout. 2nd and 10. Hill with the ball. Again, looking to throw under a heavy rush. He lets it go, and that ball's going to be intercepted. Intercepted up the 10-yard line. We're trying to see who got that. That looks like it's going to be number 15, Tristan Peña. He puts the ball for the interception at the 5-yard line. That's going to do it pretty much, guys. We've got, 32 seconds to go in the ball game. And no timeouts at all for San Angelo Central. And Eastlake is going to hold on to win this ball game. They're going to take over at their own 5-yard line, up 21-17, 32 seconds to go. And, boy, I'm going to take a breath because it's been an exciting last minute of the ball game.
Absolutely. Fantastic job, Steve. Stay on the line. Take a breath. We got some exciting action out at Austin's Ari-Miki Stadium. Let's go to Adrian Broadus for an update on Amarillo, Caprock, and Chapin. Adrian. Adrian, are you there? We hear it's an exciting game between Caprock and Chapin. What do you got for us?
We've got 58 seconds left in the game, and it is a really great one out here. Caprock on top of Chapin, 28-21. We only got 58 seconds left. Caprock drove it all the way down to the Chapin 1-yard line. It was their running back, Damon Carrasco's had a fantastic night, who fumbled on the 1-yard line. Chapin recovers. It was a 72-yard pass from Mason Standifer out to who better than Anthony Rivera. Now the Huskies are down to the 4-yard line of the Caprock Longhorns. Let's see what they can do here. It's 2nd down and goal. Mason Standifer back to pass. He zips it down to his receiver. His pass is incomplete, intended for Timothy Pastron, and there is a flag on the play, likely pass interference. There's 54 seconds left here in the game. Caprock on top of Chapin, 28-21. Chapin trying to tie things up. I'll keep it here or send it back to you guys, depending on what you all have.
Let's stay with you, Adrian, as it looks like Eastlake is going to wrap it up, kneeling on the ball to defeat San Angelo Central. We'll head back out to Steve Escajeda in just a moment. But, Adrian, you got the barn burner for the moment. Let's stick with you at Austin's Ari McKee Stadium. Let's set the scene. Amarillo Caprock leads 28-21, less than a minute to go. Chapin driving with the ball. Let's send it back to you.
Has it. It's first and goal. Mason Sandifer has it at the actually at the 2-yard line, Caprock 2-yard line after the pass interference penalty. Mason Sandifer has 2 running backs in the backfield with him. It looks like Jacob Williamson along with Giovanni Aguilar. He hands the ball off right up the middle, and it's Aguilar with the carry, and he scores. It's a touchdown. Live action right here. Chapin back on top, on the board, looking like they might tie things up here with 50 seconds to go in the game. What a night right here as Chapin looked like they were about to be out of this one with Caprock all the way down to the 1-yard line. Again, running back Damon Carrasco, who has 337 rushing yards on the night, 3 touchdowns. Fumbled at the 1-yard line. The Huskies recover with under 3 minutes to go, and Mason Sandifer had a 72-yard hookup with his wide receiver, Anthony Rivera, that set up this rushing touchdown here by Giovanni Aguilar. Just 2 yards out here as the extra point attempt is coming up here in just a little bit. Just to run some other stats for you guys, Anthony Rivera on the night, 8 catches, 177 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, along with 1 interception, easily the player of the game on the Chapin side of things. And, of course, Damon Carrasco for Caprock, 44 carries, 337 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's been a treat to watch tonight, the junior for Amarillo Caprock. The winner of this one will likely take Mansfield Summit. This one will be taking place out at Grande Communications Stadium next Friday. And, again, we got just 50 seconds to go here. The extra point attempt will be pending here with us. But again, it's 28-27.
Adrian, before they go to that, you make the call, man. A 1-point game, late in the game. Do you kick the extra point? Do you go for 2? And what do you think Ryan Warner's going to do?
Mr. Beau Bagley, you called it. It looks like Mason Sandifer is back on the field. The 2-point conversion attempt is coming up. Mason Sandifer has 2 receivers to his left. 1 split out far right. It looks like Timothy Pastron split out far right. They're going to go for 2 on this one. However, Amarillo Caprock will take a timeout here. So the 50 seconds to go, 2-point conversion coming up. We'll see what happens here as Mason Sandifer is heading back with his offense in the huddle.
Okay, Adrian, thank you so much. That was Paul with the call. Let's head back out to Steve. Let's see if we had a final from the SAC and Steve Escajeda. Steve, are you there? Is it a final?
It is a final. Final score, Eastlake comes from behind to defeat San Angelo Central 21-17. Again, Elijah Oribe, a 5-yard run with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go
awesome.
To lead them to victory. And again, Oribe, 146 yards on the ground, 137 catching the football. Big game for Eastlake. They're going to take on, which I don't know if you guys already have.
Steve, hate to interrupt you. We're going to head back out to Adrian. We'll get a wrap-up in just a moment, but at least we got the final. 21-17, Eastlake over Central. Let's head back out, Adrian. Let's get Adrian on the line. We got an exciting game as they're going for 2 right now. 28-27. Let's set the stage. Caprock leading Chapin. Chapin scores a touchdown as they called a timeout. Chapin looked like they're going to go for 2, and we're going to get Adrian on the line now. So I'm looking at our producer, Angel Munoz. Let's give me the thumbs up when he's ready to go.
And I think it was a fumble recovery on the 1-yard line and an Anthony Rivera 73-yard hookup. That's what got him in plus territory, a pass interference penalty inside the 5, and you heard the rest.
Producer Angel Munoz here. We have Adrian on the line.
Let's go to Adrian.
Let's do it.
Guys, I wish I had it for you live, but 50 seconds left. The Chapin Huskies convert. They're up 29-28 against Amarillo Caprock. It was a 2-point conversion. Successful pass from Mason Sandifer to Jacob Williamson on the right side. And Chapin has just taken the lead. They're up by 1 point with 50 seconds to go. They'll boot it back out to Amarillo Caprock here. So we'll see what happens as they get ready for the kickoff.
Awesome. Wow. What a call. And Paul, you called it. Going for two. You're at home, so to speak, at Austin High School. You're at home. Go for two.
And you came with a trick. Jacob Williamson, that's your big fullback type, maybe the one back. They might have run a play fake off it, snuck him out of the backfield. I doubt that kid's caught a pass the entire season. This time, the most important pass of their season, a two-pointer as they take the 1-point lead. On the downside, 50-something seconds still left. A field goal wins this one for the bad guys.
Absolutely. Adrian, stay on the line. We have a final from Abilene. Your Eastwood Troopers shock Abilene, winning 31-27. We'll have much more on that game in just a moment. Let's head back out to Austin's R.E. McKee Stadium and join Adrian Broadus as the Chapin Huskies have a 1-point lead. 50 seconds to go. Chapin leads Amarillo Caprock 29-28. Adrian, take it away.
50 seconds to go here in the fourth. Chapin up by 1 point, 29-28. It's the quarterback, Damon Carrasco, the running back. You call him whatever you want. He's the main guy who's going to have to lead this comeback and try to get this win for Amarillo Caprock. Under center is Leighton Brown, the quarterback for the Longhorns. To the right of him is Damon Carrasco. Let's see what they can do here on first down. Damon Carrasco tonight, 44 carries, 336 rushing yards. He had a costly fumble at the 1-yard line for the Chapin Huskies. Let's see what happens here on first down. Leighton Brown takes the snap. He rolls out to the left. He's being pressured heavily, and that pass is going to be deflected, and it's incomplete. Second down coming up here with 44 seconds left. Again, Chapin on top of Amarillo Caprock, 29-28, 1-point game out here late in the fourth of this one. Leighton Brown is the quarterback for Caprock. He's a 2 of 3 tonight. He's got 63 passing yards, been primarily used on the ground in the read option game. Brown in the backfield. He's got trips to his right, 3-step drop on second down. He rolls out to his left, being pressured heavily. He's throwing it out to the side, and it is incomplete. Third down coming up, 3rd and 10 on the near hash side here for Amarillo Caprock. Let's see what they can do here with 35 seconds left. You know, guys, I'll be honest with you. I know that there is only 35 seconds left, but I'd be still looking at their running back, Damon Carrasco, who's been fantastic tonight. He's broken away with runs as far as 46, 37, 22, 18. He's really been great on the ground, averaging 7.6 yards per carry for Amarillo Caprock. Third down coming up, 3rd and 10 here as we continue. 35 seconds left. Brown, 3-step drop. He throws it down the field, and it is incomplete. Pass deflected there by the Chapin Huskies. That'll bring up 4th and 10, and it's do-or-die time here for Amarillo Caprock as they try to advance to the area round. They definitely were in the driver's spot in this game. They were up 28-21. They had the ball all the way down to the Chapin Huskies 1-yard line following an interception by Chapin quarterback Mason Standifer. Then they fumbled at the 1-yard line. Standifer and the Chapin Huskies marched all the way back on the other side of the field, 96 yards. They cap it off with a rushing touchdown by Giovanni Aguilar, and that set up that 2-point conversion try. 4th down coming up. Brown back to pass. He looks deep, and he completes to his receiver all the way to midfield. Wow, what a catch there by Eden Ramirez all the way at midfield. Caprock will move the chains on 4th down. 1st and 10 coming up at the 50. Let's see what happens here. Moving the chains. Clock is stopped. 22 seconds left here in the game. Chapin on top of Amarillo Caprock, 29-28. Caprock going quick. 1st and 10 at the 50. Brown, back to pass, 3-step drop. He rolls out to his right. He's being pressured, and it looks like he might be sacked. He is going to be sacked. Great defensive effort there by the Chapin Huskies. Wow, I really liked what I saw there by pass rusher Hayden Purier, and he came up big there. 2nd down, 10, and they're going to have to spike that one right away, guys. 5 seconds left. This is the last play of the game here as Amarillo Caprock tries to get one last play of desperation here to try to go ahead in this one. Again, 29-28, Chapin Huskies lead in this one. Amarillo Caprock, they led 28-21. Remember, Amarillo Caprock had 21 unanswered points in the second half. A really valiant effort by the Longhorns in this game. Let's see what they can do here. Last play of the game, 5 seconds left. 3rd and 10. Brown rolling out. He drops back to pass. He's being pressured, and it is going to be a game-ending sack for the Chapin Huskies. Wow, credit right there. That right there. Credit Eduardo Licon, the defensive tackle junior, for the big sack at the end of the game. And that's it, guys. The Chapin Huskies will come up victorious 29-28 in the final seconds. They go and advance to the area round and defeat Amarillo Caprock in this one.
Oh, what a call, what a game, what a moment by Chapin head coach Ryan Warner, going for two and the win, and gets it done. Your Chapin Huskies, winners over Amarillo Caprock tonight, 29-28. What a game. Eastlake winners over San Angelo Central, 21-17. Eastwood topping Abilene. Oh, is it raining cats and dogs yet?
It's turning into a pretty good night for the locals.
Absolutely.
And you were talking about Ryan Warner. You were saying, perchance, Ryan Warner, maybe our coach of the year.
I think absolutely after that call.
I think so. You cement it. And by the way, love the 2-point call as well. Tricked him. You got that thing. You've probably been hanging on to it for months.
Absolutely.
And broke it out at exactly the right time.
What a call, and what a moment for Chapin, what a moment for Eastlake, what a moment for Eastwood. We're going to have wraps of those games, also our 7 o'clock games going down to the wire, an update from our Cisco Movers Game of the Week. We're going to take a break, come right back. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
You're listening to Football Friday Night on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
Welcome back to Football Friday Night in 6A. What a night we have. The Eastwood Troopers topping Abilene 31-27 at Abilene to win the by-district title. Easily the biggest upset of the night, and what a way for the Eastwood Troopers to hang on. They trailed in that game in the fourth quarter 25-23, but were able to hang on 31-27.
And remember, they were up 20-6 at halftime. Eastwood not necessarily comfortable ahead, against an evenly a talented team because of the style of offense they run. They like to throw the ball around. Last month they've gotten into running it more. Sam Lopez had a 200-yard game last week in the blowout of Americas, but they want to throw bubble screens and flip it. It's hard to run out of clock, when you're and you don't slow things down. They want to get to scrimmage quickly. They run a tempo offense, and even that time when they were up 14 going into the fourth quarter, up a couple of scores, I doubt that they slowed things down, waited 30 seconds to take a snap. I think they just kept running tempo and, almost came back to burn them, but man, they were there in the clutch.
Absolutely. Came up big in the clutch. Elsewhere in 6A, the by-district round in Grande Communication Stadium, Midland Legacy topping Pebble Hills 43-22. That's a final. We haven't heard from Alex Nicholas so much, but he might just have one of the games of the nights as well out at our Cisco Movers Game of the Night. Permian at Franklin. Let's head out to Alex Nicholas for an update. Alex.
2:56 left in the third quarter. Permian 42, Franklin 28. A momentum-changing score right now would be an 8-yard touchdown run by Rodney Hall at the 3:04 mark. That would be his fourth total touchdown of the ball game. But what sets that up is what may be what Franklin fans are talking about on the far sideline. So before Permian took over, it'd be a 4th down and short. Franklin would be at their own 28-yard line, albeit Franklin has not had any success running up the middle, where they would try to run a little draw to Jordan Morales up the middle. That would get stuffed. Permian would take over at the Franklin 29-yard line, and then 5 plays later, Hall would run it in from 11 yards out. So it's a little bit of controversy. Franklin going for it there on that 4th down and short. Of course, I could play armchair quarterback up here, but in my opinion, that would have been a great situation for field position to punt the ball away there. Instead, you give Permian a short field, 5 plays, 32 yards, and that 11-yard touchdown run by Rodney Hall. 2.5 minutes left and running here in the third quarter. Permian 42, Franklin 28.
Yeah, and Beau, I'm with Alex on that one. There's not a big enough payoff. Okay, 4th and 2 or whatever. Let's say you run and get that first down. Now it's 1st down and 10 from your own 31-yard line. Does that mean you're going to get another 1st down and another 1st down? I mean, maybe it happens, but it's a low percentage play, and if you don't pick up the 1st down, number one, I think it's a lack of respect to the other side. They got to be jumping around excited right now after getting that kind of stop and then punching it in. But man, it's just too big a risk with not a big enough reward on the other end.
Absolutely. Now let's head down to the 5A by-district round. El Dorado, a really tough game draw against Amarillo-Tascosa. El Dorado shut out in the second half, and they fall to Amarillo-Tascosa 53-7. El Dorado falls and ends the season at 4-7 overall. Speaking of 5A, let's head out to Brandon Cone, the Iceman, at Mustang Stadium. Burgess hosting Horizon at halftime. Let's head out to Brandon for an update. Brandon, take it away.
Yeah, we're about to start the second half here, and it's a hell of a game. It's Horizon 28-21 over Burgess. Get this, gentlemen. With 1 second remaining in the second quarter, Burgess quarterback Rutledge throws the most incredible 10-yard touchdown you're ever going to see in your life to the very back of the end zone. His wideout, Sean Street, reaches up, catches it with his fingertips, and ends up scoring literally almost at the buzzer with 1 second to go to make the score. Horizon 28-20 over Burgess to end which was a great first half here. Now, let me give you some stats as we begin the third quarter. Horizon running back Ernie Garcia, 16 carries, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the 85-yard kickoff return for the touchdown in the second quarter. Quarterback Jacob Kies, 11 of 13, 97 yards, 2 TDs, 1 rush. Also has a passing touchdown, 6 carries for 77 yards. And wideout Aaron Moreno has a touchdown. For Burgess, Andrew Rutledge, 7 of 14 for 62 yards, 2 touchdowns. Running back Tavares Jones, 9 carries, 62 yards, a touchdown. Wideout Sean Street, 3 receptions, 38 yards. He has a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And finally, wideout Ray Campos has a touchdown. We're getting underway to kick off as Burgess gets the second half kickoff to begin the third quarter, and it's 28-21 Horizon over Burgess.
And Beau, a huge touchdown, that Sean Street 10-yard catch for the Mustangs. Remember, they just got that ball back after giving away a touchdown of their own with about a minute and a half left, which means, and again, Burgess, not really a passing team. It's Tavares Jones and really not much else. So they had to throw the ball down the field, as you heard Andrew Rutledge, 7 out of 14 in the first half. The junior, he was able to get him down the field via the air game, and they were able to punch it in same way, up top to Street. That's a huge, again, maybe momentum swinger for the Mustangs, who were down 14 points early.
All right, thank you, Paul. That's right. Let's stick with 5A. We got action at Lowenberg Stadium. Let's go to Jeremy Karanko at Lowenberg Stadium for an update on Canutillo and Jefferson. Jeremy.
3:07 third in a fast-moving third quarter. It is Canutillo 27 and Jefferson 7, and it's a timeout for Canutillo. They are at the Jefferson 5-yard line, looking at another score here. The down is second, so it'll be second down and goal from the 5-yard line for Canutillo. L.J. Martin, 196 yards and 2 touchdowns on 19 carries tonight. Devin Granados has 2 scores on 43 carries, and setting up this goal line opportunity, a 54-yard pass to Kyle Ramirez that set up this play. A timeout is taken by Canutillo, so 3:04 left to go third quarter. Teams still in their huddle. Let's get you some stats for Jeff. Nathan, I'll call it 9 out of 20.
Jeremy, can we break in real quick? We got an update right now. Thank you for that update. Let's head out to Adrian Broadus, who's standing by live with the coach of the night and possibly the coach of the year, Chapin head coach Ryan Warner, to talk about that big gutsy call to go for 2. Adrian, take it away.
Hey, guys, I'm out here at R.E. McKee Stadium with Chapin head coach Ryan Warner. Coach, what a night for you guys, going for 2, winning the game. Take me through that process and the thought process of going for 2 at the end.
Yeah, you know what? Once we scored, I took a timeout. We wanted to weigh our options as a staff, back and forth with the offense coordinator. Talked to the kids, weighed the options, told them, we could score here, we could kick the extra point, we could tie it, or we can go for the win. And when you look at your team and they look back at you and they said, Coach, let's go for 2, you got to put the faith in the guys that you have in there, and that's exactly what we did.
Damon Karanko, he fumbles there for Caprock. You guys get the ball back on offense. You have that 72-yard pass from Mason Standiford to Anthony Rivera. How huge was your wide receiver and quarterback connection tonight?
And every night, those two, they have a great connection. They know where each other's going to be. They have that trust that they developed over the offseason. even since last year when Anthony got his start, moving from quarterback to receiver, and then just continuing to develop that over the offseason. So, you have both of them on either side. He really has trust in both of them.
How huge is this win for your program?
I think it's big. It's huge. It's special. Moving in the right direction, really trying to get the kids to buy in and believe and understand that, good things can happen. You just have to work for them. You have to roll your sleeves up, and you got to get to work.
Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Adrian Broadus with Chapin head coach Ryan Warner. Chapin wins it on a last-second two-point conversion. Well, I should say last-minute two-point conversion. 29-28 over Amarillo Caprock. His old coaches at Chapin are now at Franklin. Darren Walker needs some of that mojo right now against the mojo of Permian. But what a win for the Chapin Huskies and Ryan Warner's second season at the helm of his alma mater. So an exciting win for the Chapin Huskies. 29-28 over Amarillo Caprock.
And how about a team that, had a comfortable lead for a good chunk of the night, and then you got to watch the other guys reel you in and go by you. I think it was 21 straight that Caprock scored to take that lead, and then you're able to, reorganize yourself, get back into the contest. 70, that fumble recovery, holy smokes, was amazing. That was game over until the recovery. 72 yards the Rivera catch, and as they say, the rest is history.
Absolutely, got it. All right, hey, it's Steve Escajeda, I think, standing by from another exciting game. No, who do we got on the line? Jeremy Caranco. Let's go back to Jeremy out at Lowenberg Stadium, get an update on Canutillo and Jefferson. Jeremy.
1:54, third quarter, and Canutillo does find the end zone on that second and goal. It's now a 34-7 lead for Canutillo over Jeff, and punching it in was Devin Granados from 3 yards out. Feels like the knockout punch. Still a lot of time left, but a 3-yard rushing touchdown, his third of the night. And Canutillo is pretty much in cruise mode right now. Their defense has shut down Jefferson so far in the second half. Again, winner faces Canyon Randall next week, and Scott Brooks does tell me he thinks that it'll be Friday night, either in Andrews, where they last faced Canyon Randall in 2019, or it could be in Lubbock. So we'll get those details meshed out if we can tonight. So 1:43, third quarter. It's Canutillo cruising over Jeff, 34-7.
Last night over Wyatt, and as you heard, Canyon Randall and Canutillo looking for a showdown. Probably Friday and probably in Andrews, according to Jeremy Caranco.
There we go. So 34-7, Canutillo leading Jefferson in the third quarter. Eagles running away with this one. Speaking of some close games, we got close games all over the borderland, and an exciting one at the SAC. We'll head out to Steve Escajeda for a wrap-up of Eastlake's win over San Angelo Central, 21-17. And then we got some action at Del Valle. We haven't heard from the coach, Jaime Chavez. So we're going to go out to Del Valle and just a moment. Let's take a break. Take a quick break, and we're going to head out to all these coaches and all these players, all these reporters. What an exciting football playoff night. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
You're listening to Football Friday Night on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
Welcome back to Football Friday Night, the playoff edition right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. We got another tie ball game in the Sun City. Let's head out to Burgess Mustang Stadium and join Brandy Cohn for an update on Burgess hosting Horizon. Brandon.
Who scored? Garcia. We have 7:14 remaining here in the third quarter, and it is 34-28 now. Horizon over Burgess. Just as I was speaking, it was Garcia. Ernie Garcia, the running back for Horizon, scoring on a 30-yard touchdown run to give the lead back to Horizon. This game is a seesaw battle going back and forth at the 7:42 mark of the third. Burgess quarterback Rutledge ends up throwing a 13-yard touchdown to his running back, Tavares Jones. That's Jones' second touchdown of the evening to temporarily tie it. But then, all of a sudden, Horizon marches right back for the 35-28 lead. As I just noted, Ernie Garcia, as we were coming on, 30-yard touchdown run. 7:14 remaining in this epic by-district playoff game to go in the third quarter. And we have Horizon 35-28 over Burgess.
Awesome, Brandon. What an exciting night. You got an epic game. I got to say, it's an epic bi-district playoff night all around the borderland. We got a barn burner even up in the Las Cruces right now. So 35-21, the last check, Las Cruces over Centennial, but just a 6-point game between Horizon and Burgess. What a night. All right, what do you got, Paul?
I was just going to say, to me, this looks like a rising and forth kind of stuff. And I always worry about the team that's scoring the match. It seems like it never works out well for them. But Burgess has come from a long way back, down a couple of 14 points. And, wow, but it seems like if this is the second time, they scored to get close, and all of a sudden, a kickoff return for a score. And now the same thing, another touchdown and 30 yards, you're behind again.
There you go.
Yikes.
Let's head out to our Cisco Movers game of the week. The Permian Panthers at the Franklin Cougars. Last check, it was 42-28. Permian over Franklin in the third quarter. Let's join Alex Nicholas for an update. Alex.
9:39 left in our ball game. Permian leading Franklin 49-28. It would be a Beau Sparks minus 3-yard punt after Franklin's last possession. That would set Permian up at the 28-yard line. It would take the Panthers, 6 plays, and it would be Cason Clinton with a 1-yard touchdown run at the 11:21 mark of the fourth quarter. And right now, Cameron Bird just threw an interception, a desperation interception. So this one almost in the books here for Permian. 9:31 left in the fourth quarter. Mojo 49, the Franklin Cougars 28.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. Yeah, this one getting away from the Franklin Cougars as they got within 7 at halftime, 35-28, but being shut out in the second half so far. Alex, thank you very much. Let's head out to the coach, Jaime Chavez, out at Conquest Stadium, Del Valle, hosting Amarillo. Amarillo with 38 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. Let's see how this one is wrapping up. Coach.
6:27 left in the fourth quarter, and it is now Amarillo 45 and Del Valle 14. Amarillo backup quarterback Mason Graham scores on a 1-yard touchdown run. He also had an 8-yard touchdown run in the first half, and then Del Valle gets back on the scoreboard after that long scoring drought. Sean Ramos a 4-yard touchdown run, and there was a 25-minute delay in the third quarter. After Del Valle quarterback Sean Ramos, the starting quarterback, was injured after a 3-yard keeper, a 25-minute delay, and an ambulance was called in, and Jesse Ramos, the starting quarterback for Del Valle, was taken away, and he was 13 of 22 and 122 yards passing. He had a 1-yard touchdown run and 1 interception, and the new quarterback for Del Valle is Diego Carrera. So we've got 6:01 left in the fourth quarter at Conquest Stadium. It's all Amarillo. Amarillo 45 and Del Valle 14.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Prayers go out to the young man injured tonight. But this one, all Amarillo, 45-14 in the middle of the fourth quarter. What a game at the SAC, 21-17. Eastlake over San Angelo Central. Steve Escajeda on the call. Steve, we apologize. We got barn burners all over town, but you had the original tonight. What a game it was at the SACs. Take it away.
Yeah, it sure was, guys. Back and forth there at the end, and Eastlake holding on for a 21-17 win over San Angelo Central. San Angelo scored with 3:40 left to go in the ball game to take a 17-14 lead. Things looked a little bleak, but then again, Elijah Uribe broke out for a 61-yard run to set them up at the 10-yard line, and then he went on to score from 5 yards out with 2:20 to go in the ball game to seal that 20-17 victory. I'll give you some quick stats before we go here. First of all, for San Angelo Central, the season comes to a close. They finished 4-7 on the year. They were led on the ground by Sam Navarrete, 19 carries, 69 yards. Their quarterback, Tyler Hill, 16 out of 24 passing, 192 yards. He had a touchdown and a pick. And great receiver, Jacob English, 7 catches, 125 yards, and a touchdown. For the victorious Falcons, Eastlake was led on the ground. It took him a while, but Elijah Uribe finished the game, 24 carries, 146 yards, and a touchdown. Quarterback Sebastian Rendon, 15 out of 21, 226 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 pick. And that guy again, Uribe, 7 catches, for another 137 yards, and Adrian Lopez chipped in 5 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown. So Eastlake moves to 10-1 on the season. Again, I don't know if you guys know who won the Weatherford or Byron Nelson game, but they will play the winner of that game next Friday in Friendship. And again, we'll see if Eastlake can keep the ball rolling. They are 10-1 on the season. And what a game. It's all over here at the SAC. Final score, Eastlake, a come-from-behind win over San Angelo Central, 21-17.
Awesome, Steve. Thank you so much. Stay on the line just a moment. I have a question for you, but Paul has an update on the playoff information.
Yeah, so glad you asked, Steve Escajeda. Read my mind. Byron Nelson, in a battle of 7-3 teams, beats Weatherford 35-14, and as you called it, Eastlake and Byron Nelson, they're going to meet up in the round of 32 at a site, and time to be determined. Hopefully you'll get a little info on that before you shut it down for the night.
And Steve, since we still... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
No, I was going to say, we spoke to several coaches all night long, and again, they said it would either be 6 or 7 o'clock. They had not hammered that down quite yet. All they knew was that it would be on Friday for sure in Friendship, but they had not nailed down the time quite yet.
All right, Steve, as we wrap things up, we thank you so much for all of your help all season, and what a game tonight. But before you go, I'm going to put you on the spot for a moment. What was your most memorable play of the season, or your most memorable moment this high school football season?
Oh, my goodness, really? Well, maybe missing the last 2 weeks because of a back injury. I don't know.
Stole my line.
No, that was right. That could be it. But I'll tell you what, this game tonight, Eastlake came into the ball game a favorite. They were favored. You figure they win by 7 to 10 points, and they struggled all night long. And for a while there, in the last couple of minutes of the ball game, it looked like they were going to fall short. But again, Oriva coming to life at the end of the ball game, just enough to eke their way through with a big win tonight. And again, Eastlake moves on.
All right, Steve, thank you so much. A great job all season long. Glad we got you back tonight, got you back healthy, and what a game it was tonight. Eastlake 21, San Angelo Central 17. Eastlake moving on versus Byron Nelson in the area round of the playoffs Friday in Friendship.
And, Beau, I think Brandon Cohn is pretty close by, and he'd love to tell you his favorite moment. I think it just happened recently out at Burgess Mustang Stadium.
Likewise, let's head out to Brandon Cohn for an update on Burgess and Horizon. Brandon.
Yeah, this is an amazing game. 4:56 to go. It's happening right now in the third quarter, and Horizon now has a 41-35 lead over Burgess. My goodness, where do I begin? At the 6:58 mark here of the third, Burgess running back Tavares Jones, the Missouri commit, scores on the 75-yard touchdown run, his third TD of the night, 2 rushing, 1 receiving touchdown. Jones, a great game so far, 12 carries, 136 yards, 3 touchdowns to make the score Burgess 35-35 over Horizon. Then, just now as we come on again at the 4:56 mark of the third quarter, it was Horizon taking the lead, retaking the lead as their quarterback, Kihas, scores on a 39-yard keeper. And currently they're up 41-35, barring the extra point. It's the battle of Ernie Garcia and Tavares Jones. Garcia, 19 carries, 165 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tavares Jones, 12 carries, 136 yards, 3 touchdowns. Between the two of them, 6 touchdowns combined. PAT is up, and it's good. 4:56 left in this third quarter. Horizon 42-35 over Burgess. Oy vey.
We're going to get back to you in just a little bit. Brandon, what an exciting game there. 42-35, Horizon over Burgess late in the fourth quarter. We'll step back out to you in just a little bit. Let's get a wrap-up from Chapin. A great interview with head coach Ryan Warner at the end of the game, talking about not only what this win means for the program, but what a night it was for him, especially a second-year head coach. Chapin winning 29-28 over Amarillo Caprock. Here's Adrian Broadus with a wrap-up. Adrian.
Thank you, guys. And that is right. I'm in my car. I was heading back to the stadium, but I mean, the station. I was ready to get the podcast up, but I'm super happy to report on this one. Chapin topping Amarillo Caprock 29-28. Let's go over some of the final stats from this one. quarterback Mason Standifer, who's been electric all season long. He was 14 of 28 today. He threw for 229 passing yards, had 2 passing touchdowns along with 1 rushing touchdown from 1 yard out. It was Jacob Williamson who led Chapin on the ground tonight. 16 carries, just 54 yards. He struggled in the middle of the game, but got things going late in the game when they really needed it. It was Adrian Garcia on the first touchdown pass to Anthony Rivera. So he stepped in for just one single play. It was a 4th and 10 possession for the Chapin Huskies, and he threw a 24-yard dart out to Anthony Rivera, who is tonight's player of the game by far. 8 catches, 177 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, and also an interception in this game on defense. What a night for Anthony Rivera, who is huge, who also eclipsed the 1,000-yard receiving mark today. Timothy Pastron also eclipsed the 1,000-yard receiving mark today as well. He had 5 catches, 66 receiving yards in this one. On the other side, with Amarillo Caprock, Eamon Carrasco, he led the way for the Longhorns. He had 44 carries, just a whopping 44 carries, 336 rushing yards in this one, along with 3 rushing touchdowns. And he did have that costly fumble, the fumble of the snap late in the game. And just to kind of wrap things up, guys, it was Chapin on top of Amarillo Caprock, 29-28. Next week, Chapin will take on Mansfield Summit in the area round of the playoffs. This one will likely take place at Midland Grande Communications Stadium at either 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock. There also is an option to have it on Saturday. They will that will be pending, I guess, a finalization between 2 teams. But that'll be it for me out here as Chapin tops Amarillo Caprock 29-28.
All right, Adrian, thank you so much. Now I'm going to put you on the spot, just like what I did with Steve. Before you go, what was your most memorable play of this season or your most memorable moment this high school football season? I think I already kind of know what your answer is, too.
Well, it would be easy if I said the 2-point conversion here by Mason Standifer to Jacob Williamson that ended up winning the game for the Chapin Huskies. That's easy for me to say. I'm going to go a different way. I'll say just watching Canyon Tier Jr., L.J. Martin, and I got a chance to see him twice this year. First, he eclipses the 2,000-yard mark. He gets all the offers from all these big schools. This past week, gets the big offer from Texas Tech. The junior tailback has been the best running back in the city, and that's saying something because he's with an elite company. He's got Elijah Reba in town with Eastlake. He's got Tavoris Jones in town with the Burgess Mustangs. But what L.J. Martin has done this year for the Canyon-Tio Eagles, man, I can't wait for next year as a senior tailback for this team and what he's going to be able to do. I guess that's my favorite moment or moments of the season right there, Bo.
All right, Adrian, great stuff. Thank you so much. We'll see you at the post-game celebration at Union Draft House on Sunland Park. What a great job all season long, and thanks for hooking us all up here behind the scenes here at the station. Adrian does a great job all week long for 600 ESPN El Paso.
And talking about looking forward to what L.J. Martin does next season, I mean, that's a great point, and it just made me reflect a little sadness on the 2020 that we missed of Aaron Dumas, the COVID 2020, and America's got shut down with about a month left in the season. The guy who set the all-time city rushing record, I think it was 3,184 yards. Nobody's ever run for 3,000 yards. The next guy who might do it could be L.J. Martin.
Absolutely.
If they keep winning, maybe it's this year. But next year is a senior for sure. And in a sense, we were robbed of the brilliance of a University of New Mexico runner, Aaron Dumas. Man, he could have set records that, maybe never matched in this city. The one was consecutive 100-yard games. Yeah. Every game he played in, he ran for 100 yards, 23 straight. I think he was 7 off of second place. Billy Sims was the leader out there. They would have had to win a state championship for him to match that one. But it sure would have been fun watching him try.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Adrian, great job as Chapin moves on, Eastlake moving on. Let's head out to our Cisco Movers Game of the Week. The Permian Panthers and Franklin Cougars get an update from Alex Nicholas. Alex.
3
3:47 and running in this ball game, and it's all a formality at this point. All Permian, the Panthers lead the Cougars 56-28. Our last score, Jaquan Richardson. He has 8 total touches this evening. He scored on 5 of them. He would take a 68-yard screen pass from Rodney Hall. That would be, I don't have the time of score here. That would actually be the 6:15 mark of the fourth quarter. Franklin with some late turnovers. They had an opportunity here in the second quarter, but field position, Permian has started at the +29, the +28, and the +32 here in the second half. 3.5 minutes left here in Franklin's season, and Permian all over Franklin, leading 56-28.
Wow, Alex, thank you so much. Just 3 minutes to go in that ball game. 56-28, Permian over Franklin. Tough game for the Franklin Cougars out there. They made a game of it. Remember, just down at halftime by a touchdown, but second half being shut out so far. We have other final scores from all around in the area in 4A. We have Clint over San Angelo Lakeview, 33-7. That's a final. Also, Fort Stockton tops Mountain View, 47-8. And out in Kermit, Brady tops Anthony 57-14. Let's head out to Brand. Oh, what do you got, Paul?
I was just going to say, you mentioned Clint advances, and they advanced to meet Hershey. 9-2 Hershey, 42-3 winners over Pampa. For the third consecutive season, Clint Lions win their bi-district matchup.
Awesome.
Remember, they'd never won one in school history until 3 seasons ago when they and Mountain View both turned the trick for the first time in those schools' histories. And now it's old hat for the Lions. Bi-district, big deal.
All right. Hey, let's head out to Brandon Cohn, who should be on the line with an update on Horizon and Burgess. Let's get out to Burgess.
I think Jaime Chavez might have
Burgess Mustang Stadium. We got an update from Brandon Cohn. Let's go, Brandon.
Hey, guess what, folks? We're tied again. 1:24 to go in the third quarter. 42-42 Horizon and Burgess. Just a couple of seconds ago at the 1:24 mark here, Burgess quarterback Rutledge ends up scoring on the 3-yard keeper. The PAT was good, tying this game at about 42-42. We have truly an epic game here we're witnessing in person here at Burgess Mustang Stadium. We have 1:24 left here in the third quarter for the bi-district championship. In an epic battle, it's Burgess 42, Horizon 42.
And we should probably stick with Brandon because, Horizon's going to score in about 30 more seconds. Ernie Garcia on the kick return, is a definite possibility. What a crazy game.
Yeah, Brandon, please stay on the line. We're going to come back to you in just a moment for the kickoff here. 42 all. What a game at halftime. It was 28-21, but remember, Horizon led this game by 2 touchdowns early, and it's really been back and forth all throughout the second half. So, Brandon, if you don't mind, let's stay on the line with you, and let's come back to you tied at 42. I mean, this is the way bi-district playoff night is gone, so why not we end it this way with another barn burner at Mustang Stadium?
Brandon's catching his breath, I think, from that crazy game. 42 up. Go, Brandon.
1:15 left here, third quarter. It is an amazing game. Arnie Garcia with a 30-yard kickoff return takes it all the way to the 43-yard line on the Horizon side. 1st and 10 Quijas at the QB and fakes the handoff, rolling to his right and gains about 7-8 yards on that. And there's a flag here. We'll see if it's called back because of a holding call. Got all the way to the 45-yard line, and there's a holding call on the Scorpions, so that will come back after a nice keeper by Jacob Quijas. Jacob Quijas, what a game this kid has had. He's a 12 of 15, 104 yards, done so much damage on the ground, though. He's got 9 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. Unbelievable evening as the penalty will move Horizon now. Let's see where they end up spotting this ball after the 10-yard holding call, as it is all the way back to, we're waiting for them to take a step back to the 26-yard line as the Scorpions now, and of course it's Quijas, the quarterback for the Horizon Scorpions. What a game this kid has had. This kid, remember, had 100 carries, almost 1,100 yards on the ground, 14 rush TDs coming into this particular game, over 1,500 yards through the air. Quijas now on the right hash in the gun, and he has 2 receivers to his left backing up, and throws a long ball, and it is caught and hauled down by his running back, Ernie Garcia, who gets all the way down to the 45-yard line. What a great reception by Garcia. He just jumped literally over the defender, the shorter Garcia, to get the completion, and that was a nice completion to get them all the way down to the 45-yard line of Burgess. That'll bring up now a 1st and 10 with 51 seconds to go in the third quarter. And here Garcia gets the handoff again. Garcia weaving, and he laterals it back to Quijas. Wow, because he was in trouble. He laterals it back to Quijas after he was in trouble, and it's down to the 42, but there's a flag that may have been an illegal lateral. That's a very interesting play by Ernie Garcia because he had gained a few yards but had defenders on him. And, then, of course, Coach Rutledge is coming out to argue as there is a flag. We have 4 officials discussing it right now at approximately the 40-yard line with 39 seconds to go in the third quarter.
No flag.
No flag. Wow, they're going to pick it up, and I'm a little confused about that particular call here. And, boy, I'll tell you, Coach Rutledge is looking for an explanation from the Zebras, as that's going to bring up a 2nd down, 2nd and 10 here. It says with 37 seconds to go after it looked like an illegal lateral, but I suppose not. And here we go. It's Quijas in the gun, takes the snap, backs up at the left hash, and a nice little pass down to his receiver, who gets down all the way to the 20-yard line. The receiver, Dominic Chaparro, over 550 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns, getting now with 19 seconds to go. Horizon down to the 20-yard line, goes out of bounds, 42-42. And actually, he did not step out of bounds because the clock is just ticking down to 12 seconds left, and I think Horizon's content to let this third quarter expire. As we're coming into the fourth quarter, we have an epic game. Let's see if they'll get it off. And they do one more play, and it's a pass that is actually, it's Garcia who ends up getting the ball, and Garcia rumbling all the way down to the 1-yard line. Ernie Garcia takes it. It looked like Quijas was going to keep it. Gets all the way down to the 1-yard line. That'll bring up a 1st and goal as the third quarter expires. Horizon 42, Burgess 42. After 3 quarters, and Horizon knocking on the door again to score. We have an epic battle here in Central El Paso for the bi-district title.
Awesome, Brandon. Thank you so much. What a game out there. Can't wait for an exciting fourth quarter between Horizon and Burgess. Hey, we got a final out at Conquest Stadium. Let's head out to the coach, Jaime Chavez, for a wrap-up of Del Valle and Amarillo.
It's a final in this District 1-5A Division 1 by-district matchup. Amarillo 45 and Del Valle 21. Amarillo 5 rushing touchdowns. Tyrese Malden TD runs of 63 and 8 yards. Mason Graham touchdown runs of 1 and 8 yards, and also Levi Slayton added a 95-yard touchdown run. And linebacker Jacob Greason had a 17-yard interception return for a touchdown. Luke Lamanick added a 25-yard field goal for the Sandys. And Tyrese Molden, 5 carries, 80 yards rushing tonight. Levi Slayton, 3 carries, 102 yards rushing. Amarillo quarterback Brock Wade, 10 of 14, 150 yards passing. And for Del Valle, 3 touchdowns, all on the ground. Quarterback Jesse Ramos, a 1-yard touchdown run. Sean Ramos, a 4-yard touchdown run. And also Del Valle backup quarterback Diego Carrera, he had a 4-yard touchdown run late in the contest. Quarterback Jesse Ramos was 13 of 22, 122 yards passing, 1 interception, no TD passes, and he was injured late in the third quarter and did not return. Sean Ramos led the rushing for Del Valle at 9 carries, 70 yards rushing tonight. So Del Valle finishes the season at 7-4. Amarillo, the Sandys, 9-2, and they'll play Colleyville Heritage or Abilene Cooper next week in the area playoffs. The final, once again, from Del Valle's Conquest Stadium, Amarillo 45, Del Valle 21.
Yeah, and since Jaime brought it up, Colleyville Heritage, they're the team that advances, moved to 10-1 on the season. They beat Abilene Cooper 49-21.
All right, so Coach, if you're still there, thank you for all the hard work you've done all season long and for all the years here with Football Friday Night. Thank you so much. But before you go, I want to put you on the spot. What was your most memorable play of the season or most memorable moment of the season? And he's already hung up the phone.
Yeah, because he has no memorable moments.
Well,
you just focus. Jaime's a guy who's focused on the moment.
Well, he did a great job. We'll see him at the Union Draft House home on Sunland Park for our post-game get-together. Hey, let's head out to our Cisco Movers Game of the Week. We have a final between Permian and Franklin. Alex Nicholas with the final wrap-up. Alex.
So Odessa Permian wraps up their 32nd by-district title in school history, their 7th in a row as they defeat Franklin 52-28 tonight, led by a valiant effort by both sides of the ball, but mainly their defense was a big culprit in this one. They would sack Cameron Bird 6 times, Corey McCoy with 2 interceptions, and that Mojo offense was just rolling. 539 total yards of offense for the Panthers, led by Rodney Hall, 6 of 11 passing, 214 yards through the air, 3 passing touchdowns. He also ran the ball 11 times, 136 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jaquan Richardson, 3 catches, 173 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Those receiving touchdowns, 47, 58, and 68 in this ball game. For Franklin, Cameron Bird just could not get in a solid rhythm. Like I mentioned, he was sacked 6 times by a Permian defense who came in to the game with 29 sacks already in the stat sheet. Bird finishes 14 of 36, 214 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions, again, both by Corey McCoy, the senior defensive back for Permian. Miles McWhorter, 5 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown in this ballgame, but Franklin just 282 yards of offense, and McWhorter 7 carries, 25 yards, just unable to get off the mat tonight for Franklin. Permian moves on. They will take on Euless Trinity, which is a rematch of the 2014 season when both of these teams met in the regional final round. This game will actually be played in Abilene, or at Abilene Christian next week. Franklin, another solid season for the Cougars, but it ends at 8-3. Their 8-game winning streak is snapped, and the District 1 6A champs see their season end tonight here at home. So it's all over from Franklin Cougar Stadium with the Permian Panthers celebrating their 7th straight by-district title, 32nd overall for the storied Mojo program as they defeat Franklin 56-28.
Okay, Alex, don't go anywhere. Got a moment, but I know Paul wanted to jump in with some information.
Yeah, I was just going to Alex, absolutely right as usual. Trinity winners tonight. They beat Keller 45-14, moved to 10-1. On the season, and of course they'll go head-to-head with Odessa Permian at the time and site most likely that Alex just suggested.
All right, so Permian tops Franklin 56-28. Alex, great job. Great to have you on Football Friday Night this season. Before you go, what was your most memorable play this season or your most memorable moment of this high school football season?
I'll give you 2. My most memorable moment is coming back to Football Friday Night after a small hiatus, and then my favorite play of the year or game would be that earlier game that I had Del Valle Cano Theo. LJ Martin had like 3 touchdowns, and then the game-sealing interception at the end. I think he had 3 long rushing touchdowns over 60 yards, and then he sealed it with an interception at the end. So that was definitely a milestone moment to see one of the best in the city, who just actually earned his 4th star, by the way, by Rivals. So seeing a 4-star athlete do his thing, that was LJ Martin. That was my memory of the season.
And see, I thought he was going to say it wasn't a game he called, but I know it's a game he was at because he was texting me updates. I was at Burgess Jeff. Was the Pebble Hills Eastwood game where Pebble gets the ball down a touchdown with, maybe a minute something on the clock. Well, no, actually time on the clock, but they drive it all the way down to football field, punch it in, and with seconds left on the clock, they did what Ryan Warner did tonight for Chapin. They rolled the dice. They went for 2. Gael Ochoa, who got the keeper touchdown, takes it in for the 2-point conversion as well, and those young Pebble Hills Spartans upset Eastwood by a point, but I guess Eastwood didn't hold on to it too much because, boy, They really bounced back tonight with a huge win over Abilene. So Julio Lopez and those Eastwood Troopers, not ones to sulk, obviously.
Absolutely. So, Alex, you get like 3 memorable moments. Since Coach hung up, you get to have your 3 memorable moments. So, Alex, thank you so much. Great job tonight. Great job to all of our reporters. Looking forward to this. We got an update from Burgess Mustang Stadium. Let's head out to the Iceman, Brandon Cohn, for an update. Now, last check, it was tied at 42 at the end of the third quarter. Let's go out to Brandon Cohn for an update. Brandon.
Yeah, notice the key was tied. 10:20 to go in this game, and Horizon has retaken the lead again. 49-42 over Burgess at the 11:19 mark. It's Horizon running back Ernie Do-It-All himself, Garcia, scoring on a 2-yard TD run, his 4th touchdown of the evening, 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 kickoff for a score 85 yards back in the first half. Horizon taking the 49-42 edge. Ernie Garcia, what a game, 22 carries, 171 yards, 4 touchdowns. We have 10:14 left in this contest, and Horizon is up 49-42 over Burgess.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. What a barn burner there. Of course, we can't end the night with without another exciting game, so thank you so much. We're going to take a break here. We're going to wrap up from Canutillo as it looks like the Eagles will be victorious over the Jefferson Silver Foxes. We'll have a wrap-up from Jeremy Karanko. And you're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Welcome back to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Late in the middle of the fourth quarter, we got a barn burner at Mustang Stadium. Horizon Scorpions leading the Burgess Mustangs 49-42. And we have a final out at Lowenberg Stadium. 42-13, the Eagles of Canutillo victorious over the Jefferson Silver Foxes. Let's head out to Jeremy Karanko for a final wrap-up of Jefferson and Canutillo. Jeremy.
Yeah, at the final here at Lowenberg Stadium, it's Canutillo defeating Jefferson 41-13. Moving on to the area round, facing Canyon Randall, just on the sidelines, talked with Scott Brooks, guys, and he tells me he's not a happy camper. He felt like his Eagles could have played better tonight. They did give up a 51-yard interception return, touchdown to Alexis Garcia there to end the game, and Jefferson got a little bit closer. But he does confirm and tell me that it will be next Friday in Andrews at the Mustang Bowl against Canyon Randall at either 6 or 7 o'clock. That is a confirmation right after the Eagles celebrate on the field. And moving to 10-1, the Eagles with a dominating effort from L.J. Martin, star all season long for the Eagles, 217 yards on 22 carries and 3 touchdowns. And Devin Granados also with 3 touchdowns on 48 yards. The Nathan Alcala's career comes to an end at Jeff. He finishes with 92 yards and a touchdown. And Alexis Garcia Enriquez gets a 51-yard interception return touchdown. And Jose Rodriguez, the receiver for Alcala, 57-yard touchdown reception. So the final from Lowenberg Stadium, Canutillo moves on, face Canyon Randall next week. 41-13 winners in the bi-district round tonight over Jefferson.
All right, Jeremy, great job tonight. Thank you so much. Wait, don't hang up just a moment. What was your most memorable play this season or your most memorable moment of this high school football season?
Yeah, thanks, Beau. I appreciate it. Well, when I did get some close matchups, it was always it was good to see that. Jefferson, I covered them pretty much the last 3 seasons. They always had some fight in them. Alcala's a great guy, pretty much in the shadows in District 2 5A. His team, Tony Martinez, you just think about their history. Jefferson, just 2 playoffs since 1997, and Martinez has done a good job. We'll see how the Silver Foxes do rebound next season. They finished 4th. They were able to beat the Burgess Austin Andrews. We'll see if they can get their number next year. But they will be without their star running back and quarterback. So might be another rebound, but we'll see. And also seeing L.J. Martin tonight. Adrian, that was his most impressive, this season, seeing him. And this guy is definitely going to be a college quarterback at either a Power 5 or Division I FBS level for sure. So that was pretty much it for my takes on the season. Another great year. I appreciate all you guys do, and all of our reporters do a great job.
All right, Jeremy, thank you so much. Great job tonight. And great job all season long. Canutillo victorious over Jefferson 42-13. Canutillo will face Canyon Randall in the area round. Some other scores of note. Want to let you know, up in the land of enchantment, Las Cruces top Centennial. It's a final 35-21. Bulldogs victorious over the Hawks, advancing to the 6A semifinals. And in 5A, number 1 top seed Farmington defeats 8th seed Santa Teresa 28-6. Santa Teresa, a really great season, ends their season 9-3 overall. We're going to exciting game out at Burgess Mustang Stadium. Brandon Cone out there, 49-42 at last check. Horizon over Burgess. Let's head out to the Iceman, Brandon Cone, for an update of this exciting game at Mustang Stadium. Brandon.
Just a second. We have 9 minutes to go in the game, and Horizon with a 49-42 lead over Burgess. So, again, worth noting that at the 11:19 mark here of the contest, Horizon running back Ernie Garcia does score on a 2-yard touchdown run, his 4th TD of the night, making the score 49-42. 9:37, the crowd holding their breath here at Mustang Stadium as their bread and butter running back, Missouri commit Tavares Jones, limps off the field as he needs a little assistance, as there was a 2-yard loss on his part. Previous play ends up with a 40-yard reception. This kid's doing everything tonight, Tavares Jones, on top of scoring multiple touchdowns. He goes off for 2 plays but comes back in, and he is back in, which is good news for the Burgess Mustangs. So Burgess is actually driving again. They're at the 40-yard line of Horizon. We have 8:46 remaining here in the contest, and it's Horizon 49-42 over Burgess.
Hey, Brandon, thank you so much. Wow, what a game there. 49-42. So we got 97, or I should say 87 combined points in that one right there. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back to Brandon Cone, do some more score updates. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Welcome back to the playoff edition of Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso with the biggest upset of the night. Eastwood tops Abilene 31-27, and on the phone lines right now, Eastwood head coach Julio Lopez. Coach, what a win tonight. Congratulations on the big road win. Talk about the way your Troopers played tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm just really proud of the kids. You know, when we lost 3 district games, we had just lost to Eastlake, and we put ourselves a little bit in a hole, and I think a lot of people wrote us off. But, you know, our kids' confidence never wavered. You know, we knew exactly what we had in this group. Abilene was the matchup we wanted, and we got it. And that being said, you know, it's kind of amazing now that we reflect on it. Abilene had gone 22-1, and the last time an El Paso team had beaten them was 1939. Huh. And to think now, and now to be able to reflect on the win and how big it was, not only for Eastwood but El Paso, to be able to come into Shotwell and take one from them and move on to next week. I just can't be more proud of our kids and our coaches.
Huge. Julio, appreciate the call. Paul MacKinnon, we were talking to you at halftime. You guys take a 20-6 lead into the locker, and I was saying, I wonder how hard it is for the Troopers to hang on to a 2-score lead against quality competition when you run a tempo offense. You know, a lot of teams want to, okay, let's work the clock, you know, let's get to scrimmage with 5 seconds left, and you guys probably just want to step on the gas, right?
Yeah, it's always kind of tough. You know, we felt like coming out of halftime, we had all the momentum. We felt like that first drive was huge. We get the stop, and we felt like at that point, if we score and make it 28-6, that we kind of put it out of reach. That being said, you know, we ended up throwing a pick. Then they scored 3 plays later. So we definitely didn't make it easy. But, yeah, I mean, that's just the reality. You know, we're our offense, we're a go offense. We're tempo. We don't like to slow it down. So, yeah, when we get up, it's a little different for us to have to slow everybody down and kind of eat some clock, which I feel like you have to do in some situations. But, you know, again, credit to our kids. You know, we went down 2 with 2 minutes and 44 seconds left. And I'll be honest, the first thing, and our defense played lights out all night. And when they scored, it was almost a blessing that they gave us that much time. And we never wavered in our confidence. We worked 2-minute drill probably more than anybody. And it's kind of our offense in a lot of ways. So, you know, we marched right down the field. We punched it in. And then Curtis comes up with a huge interception, jumps a route underneath and picks it off. And then we have that crazy play at the end for a safety where we wasted 10 seconds off the clock and ran onto the field and celebrated. So it was just a overall really great effort. Again, can't be more proud of our kids and the resiliency, not only tonight, but just all year in general.
Yeah, you stole my next question. Of course, Curtis with the interception, Curtis Murillo, I think also the city receptions leader on the offensive side of the ball as well. 3 interceptions as well. Hey, but the drive, you said 2:44, you got it left, took it down the field. Just chronicle the tag into that. Who punched it in? What were the big plays on that drive?
Yeah, we had some big plays in the pass game, obviously. Drew made a couple to Curtis, had one to A-Rod, Aaron Rodriguez on the outside, and then we get down in the goal line. I think we were at like the 3-yard line with about a minute left, and Andrew, we called his number and we put it in his hands, and he punched it in, and we're just, again, we're really lucky. I'm really blessed and really fortunate to not only have the staff I have, but specifically this group of kids. We've been waiting for this group of kids, and Andrew's senior year and Aaron's senior year and Luca, and we've been really waiting for this group. This is a special group, and we're just happy to get another week together.
Coach, Adrian Broadus back here in the studio, just came back here, and congrats again on the victory. Wanted to ask you, you guys hit a rough patch of adversity, but you guys battled through that. You had a huge win last week against Americas. Talk about the fight that your team has shown since you guys have really got things back on track and then gotten to the playoffs.
Yeah, I just feel like people wrote us off after the Eastlake game. We lost to Pebble Hills on a 2-point conversion. We lost to Franklin in an absolute shootout, at the end when we had a chance with a minute left inside of the 15. Eastlake, it was just one of those games, 4:00 start. We just didn't have it, to be honest. But I think at that point, everybody wrote us off, and that's where our leadership stepped up. We knew that our schedule kind of set up nicely at the end. So we had Socorro, Coronado, and then, we were able to put it on America's pretty good. And we just felt a lot of momentum coming into tonight. And again, if you want to be peaking at one time, it's playoffs. So for us, it's a good win tonight. We're peaking at the right time. We're firing on all cylinders. Our defense is playing amazing. Obviously our offense is doing its thing like it's done all year. And we feel really good going into next week against Boswell.
Absolutely, Coach. And about that area around game, can you tell us about Boswell, where and the time?
Yeah, so it looks like we'll be in Lubbock Friday at 7. Boswell upset Eaton last night. So Eaton was 8-2. I think somebody put out there they were like 30-point favorites, somewhere like that, over Boswell, and Boswell ends up winning 40-37. So it's going to be a great matchup. I feel like our side of the bracket is pretty wide open. Again, we got to take it 1 week at a time, and we know we're going to have to go in there and play our thing like it's done all year. And we feel really good going into next week against Boswell.
Absolutely, Coach. And about that area around game, can you tell us about Boswell, where and the time?
Yeah, so it looks like we'll be in Lubbock Friday at 7. Boswell upset Eaton last night. So Eaton was 8-2. I think somebody put out there they were like 30-point favorites, somewhere like that, over Boswell, and Boswell ends up winning 40-37. So it's going to be a great matchup. I feel like our side of the bracket is pretty wide open. Again, we got to take it 1 week at a time, and we know we're going to have to go in there and play our best football to come out of there with another trophy. But like I said, we're going to enjoy the bus ride home, and we got a long one. Longest bus ride in the state of Texas for a by-district round with 450 miles that we're covering. But we're going to enjoy every mile of it, and we're going to get ready for Boswell going into next week.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win. It'll be a long bus ride, but that'll be the best bus ride you'll take after that 31-27 win. Congratulations from everybody here at 600 ESPN El Paso.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Take care.
You got it. Eastwood head coach Julio Lopez after the 31-27 upset over Abilene. What a job by the Troopers tonight over Abilene, advancing to the area round of the playoffs, where Coach just said they will take on Boswell in Lubbock next Friday in the area round of the playoffs. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll get back with Brandon Cohn, the Iceman, with an update on Horizon and Burgess. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Football Friday Night on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
Welcome back to Football Friday Night, the playoff edition. Just if you thought the night couldn't get any better, we got a barn burner down to the wire and a 2-point conversion to take a lead. Let's head out to Brandon Cohn for an update on Burgess and Horizon. Brandon.
547 left in this one, and it is Horizon retaking the lead 57-50. Hope you took the over in this one over Burgess. Now, let me go back to the 8:46 mark of the fourth quarter. Burgess running back Tavares Jones comes in for one play after previously going out. He gets hit hard again, though, after a 2-yard loss, and they have to help him off the field. He wasn't putting any weight on his right ankle, and they're looking at his right ankle on the sideline. 2 plays later, though, their hero comes in. They're running back Aiden Watts, the backup, and he relieves Jones and scores on a 14-yard rush touchdown. They end up going for 2, and QB Rutledge converts on the keeper to make the score Burgess 50-49 over Horizon. Then at the 5:48 mark here of the contest, it's Horizon quarterback Quijas doing what he does best, scoring on a 3-yard rush TD, making the score after they go for 2. Quijas does convert, though. Horizon 57-50. Quijas, an amazing game, 15 of 18, 148 yards through the air, 15 carries, 202 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. So we're in for an amazing finish here at Burgess Mustang Stadium. It's just a back-and-forth seesaw affair as the Horizon Scorpions have retaken the lead again, 57-50 over Burgess.
Awesome, Brandon. Thank you so much. We're going to come back to you in about 2 minutes. Let's do a score rundown here and get back to you in about 2 minutes or so. But what a game there. Just when Burgess takes a 1-point lead, 50-49 after a successful 2-point conversion, here comes Horizon. This is almost what you'd expect in this kind of game, right?
It's exactly what you'd expect. It's the Chapin game all over again. And the common denominator is Horizon. They just play these kinds of games. The factoid I'll throw in before we go back to Brandon, Grapevine beat Wichita Falls 44-7. So the winner of this, Burgess Horizon game gets Grapevine next round of the playoffs. That's what's on the line.
All right, the Grapevine is what's on the line. Horizon and Burgess. Hey, let's do a score rundown here. Let's start with the 6A playoffs here by district in our Cisco Movers Game of the Week. The Permian Panthers top the Franklin Cougars 56-28. Elsewhere in 6A, Midland Legacy defeated Pebble Hills 43-22. And the Eastwood Troopers, as we just heard from Eastwood head coach Julio Lopez, Eastwood tops Abilene in a shocker 31-27 at Abilene. A big win for the Troopers. Now in 5A, Amarillo Tascosa tops El Dorado 53-7. Tough night for the El Dorado Aztecs. In El Paso, Eastlake, let's go back to 6A. Eastlake tops San Angelo Central 21-17. So the Eastlake Falcons moving on to the area round. Back in 5A, Chapin topping Amarillo Caprock with a 2-point conversion in the final minute. They held on. 29-28, Chapin victorious over Caprock. Amarillo really tough tonight against the Valley Conquistadors at Conquest Stadium. Amarillo winning that one 45-21. And then the Canutillo Eagles, no problem tonight. They defeat Jefferson 42-13. Elsewhere, let's go down to 4A. Fort Stockton tops Mountain View 47-8. Clint victorious over San Angelo Lakeview 33-7. Elsewhere, Anthony falls to Brady 57-14. Up in the land of enchantment in New Mexico, Las Cruces, the 5th seed, tops 4th seed Centennial 35-21. Las Cruces advancing to the 6A semifinals. In 5A, top seed Farmington tops 8th seed Santa Teresa 28-6. Nice season by the Desert Warriors. Santa Teresa ends the season 9-3 overall. And then tomorrow, Ruidoso will host St. Pius in the 4A quarterfinals, while Mayfield will travel to Artesia in the 5A quarterfinals in the land of enchantment. Let's head back out to Brandon Cohn in the Iceman and get an update on Horizon and Burgess. Brandon, did we just miss 2 touchdowns?
You would have thought we did, Beau. 4:49 to go here in the contest. Horizon still with a 57-50 lead over Burgess. Burgess with the ball at the 3rd and 15. They're at their own 45-yard line. It's Rutledge in the gun right there in between the hash marks, flanked by running back Aiden Watts. Aiden Watts comes to his right. Watts in for Jones, and he rolls to his right as he's looking Rutledge, and it's an incomplete pass. He was looking for wideout Ray Campos. That'll bring up a 4th down. And again, Tavares Jones, their star running back, had an amazing season and amazing evening. He is on the sideline. He did go out a few minutes ago, and he has a pair of crutches, so I don't know exactly the extent of the injury, but I do know it's a right ankle. We did see the trainers looking at his right ankle. Tavares Jones, what a game, though. 16 carries, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns on the evening for Jones, including his long of 75 yards. 4th and 15 with 4:34 remaining in the game, and it's looking like they're going to go for it on their side of the field. And here goes. Rutledge drops back to pass. He's throwing a long bomb, and it's caught. Oh, my goodness. He throws it in. Oh, they're saying incomplete. Is it a catch? Yes, it is. My goodness, that's got to be a 40-yard reception to Ray Campos. With 4:27 left, he outjumps 2 defenders all the way down to the 32-yard line of Horizon. I just can't believe here what we just saw. They go for it on a 4th and 15, 4:13 remaining in the game, 57-50. Horizon over Burgess. Now here's the snap. Rutledge rolling to his left, and he finds Ray Campos complete down out of bounds, down to the 20-yard line. 4:04 left in the game, and that's another 1st down. The Mustangs driving, trying to tie this one up. And this has been a game for the ages. Anybody lucky enough to be here tonight, it is unbelievable. Nobody in their seats, the crowd up on their feet on this chilly night in mid-November. 4:04 left in this contest. Andrew Rutledge in the gun, left hash mark with his running back Watts in the backfield. 3 receivers to his right. There's a timeout by Burgess. 4:04 left in this one. What an epic finish. Here
all right.
57-50. It's Horizon over Burgess.
Okay, there's a timeout on the field. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick timeout. Then, Brandon, we're going to come back to you after the break. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
Fourth Donation Center in El Paso at 1700 North Zaragoza. As a plasma donor, you can make a life-changing difference to someone in need. As a bonus, you get paid every time you donate. At BPL Plasma, new donor can earn up to $750 in just 1 month. Visit the new center on North Zaragoza or bplplasma.com and see which El Paso location is most convenient for you. Step up, sit down, get paid, and help save a life.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code GREAT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code GREAT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GREAT.
Dell Technologies' biggest business sale of the year has arrived. Step up your vision with top tech up to 45% off during their early access Black Friday event. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Plus, get incredible savings on Windows 11 PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping. There's also special financing with Dell Business Credit. Get started by contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
You're listening to Football Friday Night on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
Welcome back to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. I do have a score correction. I misspoke. Canutillo defeated Jefferson 41-13. That's the final. Canutillo victorious 41-13. Now a big game at Burgess Mustang Stadium. Horizon leading Burgess 57-50. 4 minutes to go. Burgess has the ball and driving. Let's head out to Iceman Brandon Cohn for an update of this exciting game, bi-district playoff game at Mustang Stadium. Brandon.
2:16 left to go in this game, and Burgess trying to tie the game up. It's 57-50 Horizon over Burgess, and Burgess all the way down to the 3-yard line. It's now 3rd and goal. Let's see what they do here as Rutledge, it's a keeper and gets to around the 1, no signal. And I believe he's short of the goal line. That's going to bring up a 4th and goal. Worth noting that Burgess ended up getting a lucky pass interference penalty that gave him a new set of downs, and they have not been able to get it into the end zone. That'll bring up a crucial 4th and goal, $1:37 to go in this game, and this is it. Let's see if Horizon, nobody's played defense tonight. Let's see if the Scorpions can stop the Mustangs on this crucial 4th and goal. 1:23 left in this game. Everybody's holding their breath here at Mustang Stadium to see if Rutledge can get in the end zone, and they are going to call a timeout. I believe that's their last timeout to see Burgess what exactly they're going to do here. That'll stop at the clock exactly the 1:14 mark. And again, it has been an epic back-and-forth battle this evening. Andrew Rutledge, to give you his numbers, 23 of 37, 260 yards, a total of 4 touchdowns. He also has 7 carries for 20 yards as well as a rushing score. So as I noted, this has been an unbelievable seesaw affair, back and forth, and we're looking at an epic finish here this evening. Remember, Rutledge coming into tonight, what a game, a set of games all season long. He's been amazing. 96 of 175 attempts for 1,431 yards, 22 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He had 143 yards per game coming into this context, 104% QB rating. And here we go as Burgess coming back out. It will be a 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. The Mustangs trying to get the tying score here, and Rutledge at the right hash mark, and he calls a signal. And here's the snap, takes it, and he passes it, and it's caught for the touchdown to the far left-hand corner of the end zone to his running back, Campos, Ray Campos, with the touchdown reception, far left-hand corner of the end zone. Horizon 57-56 over Burgess. They're calling it a 2-yard touchdown, and let's see. Do they go for 2? I don't know. Could we be spelling overtime here? Let's see what they're going to do. Or are they just going to kick the extra point? I see Rutledge still out there. I'm kind of confused, as is this packed house tonight at Mustang Stadium. Or are they just going to kick the extra point? Rutledge is out there, and he's in the gun. And they're going to go for 2, attempting to maybe go for a win. Here's Rutledge, backs up and throws a long pass, and it's caught for a 2-point conversion. And we'll see if they're going to say it's in. I'm waiting for the signal, and no! The receiver was out of bounds, and he's on his stomach, and it looks like it was to the same gentleman that caught the touchdown, Ray Campos, who catches it but is out of bounds. And my goodness, Horizon celebrating as they have a 57-56 lead over Burgess with 1:10 left in this game. Hey, you gamble big. Sometimes you lose big. Sometimes you win big.
Brandon, what an exciting end to this game. Now, it's still 1:10 left. You said 57-56 Horizon over. And, Paul, you and I were just talking. They went to overtime last time these two teams were in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Aaron Jones's junior year double overtime game, one of the all-timers. You talk about favorite moments. That's one of mine. Burgess came away with that one, as I said, in double OT. But the pass is Ray Campos makes the catch, looks like he has a touchdown. Remember in high school and college football, even if you're on the field to play, if you get hit in the air and knocked out of bounds and you have to get that foot down. You need one. If you don't get it, regardless of the reason, it's not considered a catch. Maybe that's what happened to Ray Campos, who was so big on that touchdown, potentially tying drive.
Absolutely. It's huge. Brandon, let's head back out to you for the wrap-up last minute of this game at Mustang Stadium. Brandon.
Absolutely. So 57-56 as Horizon holding on to the 1-point lead with 1:10 left in this contest. Worth noting the winner will get Grapevine, who won 44-7 yesterday over Wichita Falls. I spoke with the coaching staff prior to kickoff, and that game will be next Friday, November 19th at Grande Communications Stadium at 6 p.m. kickoff here. Here's a kickoff, and it is down to around the 40 of Horizon, and Horizon ends up getting the ball. Garcia, as a matter of fact, recovers it as it was a short kick, so then that'll bring up a fresh set of downs for Horizon, who at this point can literally run out the clock. So as I noted, Horizon should hold on, obviously, to win this game. They will take on Grapevine next Friday at Grande Communications Stadium in Midland. That game will be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. El Paso Mountain Standard Time. So the ball is officially spotted at the 45-yard line of Horizon. 1:07 remaining in this game, 57-56 Horizon over Burgess. And there is a flag, and it's a delay of game on Horizon, so that'll move it back 5 more yards. That'll make it a 1st and 15. And I'll tell you, you can just tell that both of these teams have put forth 110% their hearts and souls into this game as the victory stands now for Horizon. And that'll pretty much do it as we have a minute to go in this one. And what a game. I mean, honestly, I've been calling high school football for 14 years, and this is probably the most exciting game I've ever had the honor of calling in my 14 years tenure doing high school football for 600 ESPN Radio. So 45 seconds ago, it's all but a formality as it's a final now as we're waiting for the last few seconds to go. Horizon will get the victory 57-56 in one of the most impressive games that you'll ever witness here at Burgess Mustang Stadium. Congratulations to the Horizon Scorpions. They move on to the area round and will face Grapevine next Friday at Grande Communications Stadium.
All right, Brandon Cohn, fantastic job. What a game, and what a great way to end the playoff edition of Football Friday Night, our final Football Friday Night of the season, 57-56. Horizon over Burgess. What a way. And you just mentioned one of your most exciting games. Was this your highlight of your season? I've been asking everybody what your most memorable moment. What's another memorable moment of or play of this season for you, Brandon?
So many. I mean, yes. I mean, obviously, this has been one of those moments. I'll tell you, I have to say, I remember doing the Austin game, several weeks ago. And I'm trying to remember they were playing. I remember it was about El Paso High, as a matter of fact, the Battle of the Claw, the 92nd edition, I believe, and it was a great little razzle-dazzle shtick play, as I like to call it. Paul calls it the shtick play now, like I do, but it was Jaden Wilson, their linebacker and the running back, who ends up throwing a 25-yard touchdown pass to his receiver, and it was one of the more impressive razzle-dazzle plays. Nobody saw it coming, including the El Paso High Tigers, and certainly a team that runs. You didn't expect Coach Pichardo to pull that little rabbit out of his hat. So I think that was one of the most memorable plays of the season. And other than that, though, the performances by Tavares Jones tonight and Ernie Garcia, and the fact that you got to give Burgess a lot of credit for having the stones to go for the win as opposed to the tie at the buzzer, or literally almost at the buzzer. But what an amazing night, though, Bo, and what an amazing season to wrap everything up here.
And I'd like to stick on the two-point conversion call for a minute. You wonder the Tavares Jones factor. Jones is out. Brandon told us on the sidelines on crutches. There's a school of thoughts that says, okay, we don't have Jones on the field. Let's go ahead and kick the extra point. But at the same time, you're also saying, well, we don't have Jones if we're going to overtime. And even, by the way, a minute and a half left the game, we kick and tie this thing. Horizon's been going up and down the field like nobody's business. We might as well just go ahead and take a shot at two. One thing for the Mustangs, you got to appreciate without their star, and it really has been Jones. The other guys bit players throughout the year, but without Tavares Jones on the field, they still drive the field. Ray Campos doesn't surprise me at all. That dude is pretty cagey. I wouldn't be surprised on that 30, 40-yard jump ball that Brandon talked about on 4th and 17. If he was not pushing off like nobody's business, the kid is clever. I just seeing the Jefferson game, makes a bunch of smart plays that really don't show up on the field, and he made a huge catch there and got him into the end zone and gave Burgess at least a chance. But, I mean, this game looked like a Horizon-type game all along, and no surprise at all that they come out on top with the 1-point win. And I think as Brandon told us, Grapevine is next up for Horizon, and I believe Brandon said he thought it was going to be a 7 o'clock at 7 p.m. at Grande next Friday, I believe that was.
That's correct. So, Brandon, thank you so much. We'll see you at our post-game after party at Union Draft House on Sunland Park. Brandon Cohn, the Iceman, great job, and great job to all of our reporters. We're going to take a quick break, come back with a wrap-up, a score update, and playoff matchups. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
This football season, and for all your sports watching, there's only one place to be in the Sun City, the Union Draft House. 3 locations in town, far west in the Cimarron Plaza, east on Tierra Este, and the newest location on Sunland Park next to the mall. Union Draft House, 100 beers on tap. Feast on their handcrafted food and stay to watch the big game. Pizzas, wings, and beer. Family friendly, perfect for a night out and a great time with friends. The Union Draft House, the after party spot of Football Friday Night. Learn more on Facebook and Instagram at Union Draft House.
If you're in HR, you're probably wearing a lot of hats. Recruiter, team builder, trainer, mediator, policymaker, and of course, paper pusher. But not anymore. Bamboo HR is the #1 HR software for small and medium businesses. It manages all your employee data easily and automates countless tasks so you can focus on people, not paperwork. Bamboo HR frees you from spreadsheets so you can do your real job, creating a great place to work. If the data shuffle and paperwork mountain have you ready to hang up all your hats, you're ready for Bamboo. If you handle HR records and paperwork, Bamboo HR is a dream. Let us free up your time and put your days of pushing paperwork behind you so you can focus on the people and making your company a great place to work for everyone. Try PC Magazine's top pick for HR software free today. Just go to bamboohr.com/panda. This is a limited offer only available to radio listeners at bamboohr.com/panda. That's bamboohr.com/panda.
You're listening to Football Friday Night on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's go back to Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon.
Welcome back to Football Friday Night, the playoff edition. We want to thank Taco Avocat for a pregame meal. Taco Avocat. Need a new spot to try? Experience Taco Avocat for feel-good fast food. Family packs available for the big game. Wear your school colors. Receive 10% off. Dine in at 2114 North Zaragoza or order online at tacoavocat.com. And then home to our post-game after party, or post-show after party. How about the Union Draft House on Sunland Park? 3 locations in town, west at Cimarron Plaza, east on Tierra Este, and now open off Sunland Park near the mall. 100 beers on tap. Feast on the food and stay for the big game. Learn more on Facebook and Instagram at the Union Draft House. Let's do our score rundown and playoff matchups. Let's start with 6A. Over at Franklin High School, the Permian Panthers top Franklin 56-28. Eastlake all over San Angelo Central in a close game one. What a game there. At the SAC, Eastlake victorious 21-17. And Paul, I think you have the playoff matchup for Eastlake.
Yeah, they're going to run into Byron Nelson. 35-14 winners tonight over Weatherford in a matchup of 7-3 teams. And we're hearing that's going to be Friday from our Steve Escajeda, he reported. Friday in Friendship with a time still to be determined.
All right, elsewhere in 6A, Midland Legacy tops Pebble Hills 43-22. And then the biggest shocker of the night, the big upset, Eastwood tops Abilene in Abilene 31-27. Eastwood advances to the area round.
And I just got this from obviously they're going to run to Boswell. That was a Thursday nighter. As Julio Lopez told us, he said some places he was hearing that Boswell was a 30-point underdog against VR Eaton, and they came across with a 40-37 win. They moved to 6-4 on the season, and they're going to hook up with those Eastwood Troopers at Lubbock's Pirates Stadium 7 o'clock on Friday, and I assume that means, in fact, I don't assume, that means 6 o'clock El Paso time, so 7 p.m. CST, Boswell and Eastwood. And as you heard Julio Lopez right here on this network, 600 ESPN El Paso, he said it looks like the Region 1 bracket now is wide open.
And it's wide open because the Troopers just topped Abilene tonight.
Kaboom. No kidding.
Absolutely. Nice job by the Eastwood Troopers. What a win there. Hey, let's go down to 5A. Amarillo Tascosa tops El Dorado 53-7. Elsewhere in 5A, the Chapin Huskies top Amarillo Caprock. What a game tonight. Going for 2 with 1 minute to go. Chapin victorious 29-28.
And I believe they get Summit. I haven't been so much other stuff going on. I haven't searched for scores. The last score we had was halftime. Summit over Azle, 28-14.
34-10 is the final there, Paul.
Adrian Broadus, you demand. 34-10. Summit beats Azle. Chapin and Summit are going to go head up at a site and time to be determined, I believe, Adrian.
Midland Grande Communications Stadium, either a 4 o'clock or a 6 o'clock kickoff on Friday. They also have an option to flex on Saturday for a 1 o'clock kick.
All right, there you go. Well, it looks like since Horizon defeated Burgess tonight, 57-56, Horizon will take on Grapevine. From a report from Brandon Cohn, said they'll be the 7 o'clock game, 6 o'clock here. So it looks like Chapin will be the earlier game that day, Friday, in Midland. Also today at Del Valle's Conquest Stadium, Amarillo tops Del Valle 45-21. Elsewhere, Canutillo all over Jefferson 41-13. I think Canutillo advances to face Canyon Randall. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely right. If I can read my own writing, and we were told Friday at Andrews, not a time yet not determined, but Friday at Andrews, that Canutillo Randall matchup should occur.
Okay, elsewhere, Thursday night, Andrus was victorious over Isleta. Andrus will now face Wichita Falls Rider. Also, Parkland victorious over Austin. Thursday night, Parkland will face Lubbock Cooper in the next round. Down to 4A, tonight's games. Clint all over San Angelo Lakeview, 33-7. Clint will advance to play Hershey in the area round. Meanwhile, Fort Stockton all over Mountain View, 47-8. Elsewhere, Brady tops Anthony in Kermit, 57-14.
And of course, Riverside with the 34-7 win last night over Lakeview to move to 10-1 on the season. They get Lake Worth, just beat Hereford tonight, 34-20, and that's supposed to be at 7 o'clock on Friday. Ratliff Stadium. So we got El Paso teams at Grande Communications. El Paso teams are Ratliff Stadium. If you're free next weekend and you want to go see some El Paso round of 32 high school football, sounds like the Permian Basin is a place to run to.
Should be also the Panhandle with Eastwood up in Lubbock, so it's going to be a lot of fun next week. Elsewhere in the land of enchantment, in the 6A quarterfinals, Las Cruces tops Centennial 35-21, and in the 5A quarterfinals, Farmington tops Santa Teresa 28-6. Mayfield will take on Artesia tomorrow in Artesia at 1 p.m., while Ruidoso will take on St. Pius, that at Newsenda Community Stadium up in Albuquerque at 1 p.m. That's all your scores. Paul, I got to ask you, what was your favorite moment this season or favorite play of this season, high school football?
Well, since I never get out, only Thursday nighters, I would say my favorite moment is tonight. The most important night of the season, teams playing for playoff lives, playing to be able to play again next week, and to just have the games that we had tonight going all at the same time. We talked earlier about, I wonder what kind of night it's going to be. And I said, hey, we got so many plates spinning in the air. Some of them have got to keep spinning. And it seemed like tonight, all of them kept on spinning. It was a terrific night of football. This is the best night of the season for me.
Absolutely. A great night, and what a great season. Behind the mic here in the booth, it's been a lot of fun with you, our producer Angel Munoz, producer Sal Montes, Mark Miller, a lot of guidance, and thank you to Adrian Broadus here in the booth, Steve Kaplowitz, everybody here at 600 ESPN El Paso has done a great job. Want to thank all of our sponsors, Cisco Movers, Longhorn Distributing, El Paso Association of Builders, the Greater El Paso Football Showcase. Remember, all you seniors, have your SAT, ACT results submitted by December 1st to be eligible for the Combine of the Game. Taco Avocat, Union Draft House, and then visit 600ESPNElPaso.com for recaps, photos by Prep 1, and final scores. Thank you for tuning in to Football Friday Night. For Paul MacKinnon, Angel Munoz, I'm Beau Bagley. Have a great weekend, and that's Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
You've been listening to Football Friday Night with Beau Bagley and Paul MacKinnon on 600 ESPN El Paso. Don't forget to follow the Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram at 600 ESPN El Paso. Visit us online at 600ESPNElPaso.com for all of the latest regarding your high school football reports and more. Once again, we thank you for tuning in to Football Friday Night on 600 ESPN El Paso.
What happened last week? The Falcons don't run the ball as well as the Denver Broncos. I think the Cowboys win by 10 points. I don't think any more than that.
Was it last year or the year before when these two played the absolute insane game?
That was last year.
That was last year.
Yeah, with the helicopter onside kick.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
Something tells me something funky's happening. Dallas doesn't like noon Eastern games.
No, they don't.
Sorry, noon Central, 1 Eastern.
Works for me as an Eastern kid. I get to watch it 1 o'clock.
I know you do, right.
That's it.